If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Round 2 of Hyannis and Falmouth falls on a beautiful Monday, Juneteenth evening here at McKeon Park. Hello again, everybody. My name is Mickey Doolittle alongside Michael Kirsting and Jacob Irons. And guys, Hyannis' lineup has been a little bit cold recently, but they're getting some help.
Yeah, they are starting to get some help. And once again, when you talk about this lineup, there are new faces coming in, and now you're starting to get more of that day-to-day at-bats. You're getting the wood bat in. You've had the guys that didn't come because of regional play and super regional play. They're now getting to the lineup. They got to get readjusted with the wooden bat. And it will only be a matter of moments and a matter of games that these guys start picking it up, and they will find it. There is no doubt about it in my mind.
No, absolutely. We saw it yesterday. Just 3 hits against Brewster. It seems they have a little bit of issues maybe against hitting against Brewster, but now it's a new day. As you say, Jacob Irons, the beauty of the Cape is that you get back at it and do it again the next day. So forget about yesterday and move on to today.
And coming in for Hyannis is a couple of guys that arrived last night, maybe, again, adjusting to those wood bats. Who are those guys that you guys have seen out here early?
I like Gavin Cash. I understand it didn't have necessarily the start he would have wanted yesterday, but he came in yesterday. It was first game was yesterday. Give him time. Everybody here on the Cape, people are quick-minded to start writing off players. There should be no reason why anyone starts writing off players because you got to give them a couple weeks. Give them a week. Give them a week to find the bat. But Gavin Cash, he produces. There is no doubt about it. Over 24 home runs with Texas Tech. Second in school program history. The guy will find it. It's just a matter of time.
I'm loving Mike Sirota. We don't see him in the lineup today. He was just activated today. He's a returner to the Harbor Hawks. Talked about it on the broadcast yesterday, how important that returning aspect is for the mentality. We talked about it with the pitchers, and now we've got it on the bench with the position players today. So Sirota's a guy, in the coming days, we're going to see him maybe mix into the lineup a little bit and look to provide a spark for a lineup that really needs it.
Yeah, and another one of those guys is Will Taylor, the guy out of Clemson. He's playing center field tonight. He's a two-sport player. He plays football on the football team, too. I don't know about you guys, but anybody who can play in the Power 5 in both baseball and football is a player to watch. But the offense isn't the only thing that we have to watch tonight. We have also a great pitching matchup.
Yeah, when you talk about Mason Nichols will take the bump in his first summer start here up on Cape Cod, he's a guy that's a little bit of an interesting start, more of a typical reliever, but that's the beauty of Cape Cod. You can work on some things. So if Nichols wants to maybe diversify his portfolio and make the move to try and become a starting pitcher, why not do it in Cape Cod? You have that opportunity. I'm excited to see how far he goes, and maybe he's more of that opener situation where you go 2 innings and it becomes a bullpen day. But I'm really excited to see how this one plays out, and I'm really confident in Nichols. He's going to slam the zone. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and on the other side, we're going to see Carson Dorsey today. He's manning this starting pitcher role for a team who's at a 4.57 ERA number on the season. May want to see that get down a little bit, and we saw it in the game a few days ago that got rained out, that this was a team, they're able to score runs, and it was just about the Harbor Hawks coming back. We saw the resilience in their lineup, but we can also see that in those early moments, they were really pitching. So they're going to want to look for the consistency all through the game today, and they can provide it.
And the Harbor Hawks bullpen has been something as a force to be reckoned with this year. Of course, last night, 6 1/3 shutout innings against a really good offensive team, guys. They're going to probably play a main role in this game.
Yeah, when you talk about it, we talked about it from almost game one about this Harbor Hawks bullpen as being stellar. Nick Johnson, the general manager here of the Harbor Hawks, has done a fabulous job of really making sure that bullpen is able to carry out the long haul, and they've done a good job. But the beauty about it, they've come in with high leverage situations. No one's been scared of them, and they've come in and delivered when the Harbor Hawks has needed them.
And namely, Jamie Arnold. We've been saying his name every single game. We're looking at the stats this morning. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts on the season. This guy is going to be one that they're going to be looking for in those high leverage situations. He ain't scared, and neither is the rest of this bullpen.
Yeah, and looking past Arnold, you also have fantastic relievers like Thaniel Trumper.
Oh, when you talk about Thaniel Trumper, you talk about the Kansas Jayhawk, Rock Chalk there, man. That guy is about as solid as it comes on the bump. You talk about 55 innings pitched in the collegiate season, comes back here again. Guy's got the great mentality to come in and be an attacking pitcher. Really liked what I saw from him yesterday, just ultimately in a tough situation to allow those to cross.
In addition to that, Jay Driver's been fantastic as well.
Oh, Driver, we saw him start a game, and now we saw him come in short relief. He's yet to let up a run in his 2 appearances this season so far. So we've talked about seeing Driver now. We saw him in that bullpen role. He's diversifying himself a little bit. We saw him this season as a starter at Harvard, but we saw him also in his first start this season. But coming out of that bullpen, coming into a higher leverage situation, it really shows how diversified his game really is.
Yeah, and tonight it's Hyannis and Falmouth, guys. Keys to the game for you guys.
Keys to the game, bat on ball contact. You got to get it down. We talked about it yesterday, not necessarily their day in the bat, but another game, another day. Start making contact. That's what you got to do. Just put it in play.
And similarly, we've seen it all through this young season. String hits together. Every time that we have seen them string hits together, they're putting multiple runs in that inning. Every time. Not just once. It's not a fluke. We've seen it happen. And if they get down early, just have that same mentality to string hits together because they have been resilient. They've been down in these games. 2 of these Falmouth Commodores, they were down 5-0, and they came back to win a shortened 6-5 game. So that means they are able to do it. They've got to go in with that mindset.
And that's hitting. Pitching, on the pitching side, what does Mason Nichols have to do to be successful tonight?
I think Mason Nichols, just be ahead in counts. You got to work, be ahead so that you can throw those garbage pitches early and often at that moment. I think that's the really big key, is to be up in counts, be in front so that you can use those, maybe your not dominant pitch, and try and see if you can go get them to chase.
And also use that whole arsenal as well. We've seen him with the off-speed. He's worked well, mixing it in with the fastball. So pounding the zone, we've talked about these. All of these pitchers can pound the zone as well. But especially today, coming back off of a rougher outing his last time out, he's got to use all of his pitches to get his confidence back up.
And taking a step back, looking at this season as a whole, the standings, the place in which Hyannis sits right now, they currently sit at 3-4. They're trying to position themselves for a postseason run. What is the state of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks right now?
I think you're fine. People sometimes jump to conclusions, but here in Cape Cod, you just don't want to be the bottom team in your division because all 8 teams make the playoffs. Just the bottom two of both the East and the West division don't make it. So you go for your 1-1. You don't want to be 5th in your division. That's all you have to do. So Harbor Hawks are not sitting in 5th right now. So that's where you just got to be. Got to be above, and then you play postseason baseball.
Yeah, it seems like they're fine. Both sides of the ball, we've seen flashes of really good stuff at separate times. We've seen the offense do great so far. Even when they're losing games, they're putting up some pretty good numbers aside from last night. But games like last night, always going to happen. It's a long season, and then we've talked about the bullpen, how good they've been, as well as the starting pitching, too. So it's just about getting each of the things to happen at the same time, and it's undoubtedly going to happen. So you're just going to want it to happen sooner rather than later, of course. But just because we've seen flashes of both things, I don't think there's really too much to worry about so far this early in the season.
The advantage of summer baseball is that if you lose one night, you're right back at it the next night. It is Falmouth and it is Hyannis right here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
From McKeon Park, I'm Bria Losick alongside my co-host today, Jay Driver, and the newest addition to the Harbor Hawks roster, Mike Sirota. Now, Mike, you've already been up on Cape, played with the Harbor Hawks last year. What do you think has been the biggest difference in your game from last year and now to this time?
I put on some weight, so I think I can hit the ball a little further. So I think some of the balls that are getting caught last year may leave the yard. So.
Now, Jay, you've played with Mike for, a couple months last year. You said you have some questions for him?
My name is Jay Driver here from McKeon Park with my understudy, Bria Losick. Mike, so you've had a good year at Northeastern this year. What are some things you did well at school that you're looking to carry over to the summer?
I think I got good at commanding the zone. I think I walked a lot and I struck out a lot too, but it's okay.
And what would you say is one thing you're looking to improve upon?
I want to get better at stealing bases, so I'm going to try and steal a lot.
All right. Bria, anything else?
Jay, I think you covered it. I'm excited for this Harbor Hawks game and excited to have you two back on the roster together.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon's Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. How good can I be? You get away from the lights, get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, Falmouth and Hyannis in a Monday, Juneteenth clash. And the lineups are going to shape out just like this.
Yeah, let's take you through the Falmouth lineup. We've got John Spikerman, the center fielder, leading off, and then Kyle DeBard, the shortstop, leading up in the number 2, and Charlie Condon, the first baseman, SEC freshman of the year with Georgia. At the third spot, the cleanup hitter, Jay Slavalette, doing the designated hit. Ross Highfield is the catcher, and he bats 5th. And Colby Shelton, the third baseman, bats 6th. Nathan Humphreys plays right field and bats 7th. Christian Martin, the second baseman, hitting 8th. And Tab Tracy brings up the rear in left field at the 9th spot. Give you a quick run through the defense for Hyannis, it'll be Cash, Taylor, and Earhart left to right in the outfield. Smith, Snow, Laurie, and Lane after missing last night's game. Alex Lane slots back in at first, and Kelly will be doing the catching for Mason Nichols.
Thank you, Michael. Falmouth and Hyannis once again. And for Hyannis, it's going to be Mason Nichols, who's only come out of the bullpen this year, but is on the mound getting the start here tonight. And it is a perfect night for baseball, guys, here at McKeon Park. Just a little bit under 70 degrees. 66 is what it'll look like at first pitch.
Yeah, Mason Nichols comes in with a 6 ERA on the Cape Cod Baseball League season, but last appearance, 2 and a third innings pitch. Didn't allow up an earned run or a hit in 3 Ks. The Ole Miss product really strong with a 1.3 whip. That's going to be the one that you really want to look at in circle. Only allowing on the average 1 base runner on the bases, so not too much traffic behind him, and that's what you want out of your starter. Try and get your starter not to have too much traffic early and have to fight with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We've seen it the last few nights. We saw it with Ty Good. We've seen with Jay Driver as well. Not as short of a leash on Driver, but Good only went pretty short last night, and we've seen it with a few of the other guys, and Farris as well. So will be interesting to see if this will be another bullpen game or how much longer they'll let Nichols run out.
Mason Nichols, a guy that features predominantly a 4-seam fastball and a slider, but he will occasionally mix in a curveball on his line. So, once again, 6 o'clock has come and gone, and we're just a little bit late tonight to first pitch, but that's all right. Anything flies here in the Cape Cod Baseball League because it is the Cape Cod Baseball League, and it is the best summer collegiate baseball league out there. So standing in to lead it off for Falmouth will be John Spikerman, the center fielder out of Oklahoma University.
Spikerman comes in with a .250 batting average, 1 for 4, still early in his summer, but provides that necessary spark the Commodores look for off the top of their lineup.
First pitch is just high and away. First pitch at 6:02. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, missed high and away. 1-0. In there, strike one. And you see that with a lot of hitters. Typically, to begin games, will take the first pitch, try and see 1 or 2, see what that fastball is doing, see what that off-speed pitch is doing.
Especially as a leadoff guy, there's no sample size. You haven't seen another batter go after him. You are literally the first guy they will see, and for Nichols, this is a situation where he didn't necessarily see the Commodores back when they played. They only saw Buchanan, Trumper, and Arnold, so this is a new arm that they want to take some time, really try and get to know him before you go to your second batter.
1-2 the count, up and in with the fastball. That's what makes what Pete Chufreda did here a couple of nights ago in the first pitch of the game, homering off the scoreboard out in right field, that much more impressive.
Yeah, off the top of the scoreboard, too, on the very, very first pitch of the game. And yeah, you guys said it. It was if you're going to be swinging at that first pitch of the game, you have to be 100% sure as to what's coming your way. Chufreda really knew it, and he sent it a long way.
Spikerman has run the count full. Here's the pitch, and it's popped up down the left field line. Cash and Smith giving chase. Smith calling him off, and it's going to just get out of play. We mentioned that last night, that big foul ground on either side of the field.
Yeah, we see Gavin Cash out in left today as well. He was playing first yesterday, and we see it with a bunch of these players on this roster. Quite a few Swiss Army knives playing at any position you could have him at, including Smith. We've seen him in left. Tonight he's at third base.
Another 3-2. Foul back. Long at bat.
And when you talk about trying to diversify your portfolio to be a different position guy, be able to play multiple positions, that make you so much more likable for front offices, knowing that they can toss you in 2 different positions and have a guy on their roster because of that situation that you can use him in 2 different spots.
Spikerman on an 8-pitch walk has taken first base, And the first base runner of the game belongs to the Commodores.
Yeah, that's how you set the tone right there. If you're Spikerman in his early first few games here on the Cape, that's what you want out of your leadoff hitter.
Kyle DeBarge stands in, a long set, and now the runner goes. Throw down to second is going to skip its way into center field. Kelly threw it away, and that will allow Spikerman to take third. So a little bit of chaos caused on the base paths here for Falmouth.
And for Kelly, this is a little bit of a revenge game for him. Falmouth Commodores released him after 1 week of play, and then Hyannis was able to pick him up. He's behind the plate today, so playing against your former team, want to always try and show out.
0-1 the count. That one's popped up right at lane. Barely has to move. Of course, no tag on that one, and that's the first out of the game.
Yeah, again, I say this a lot, but it's a big out, especially early in this first inning. Now you've got the first run of the game 90 feet away, barely off of your own doing. You do walk him, but a throw does go into center field by Spikerman attempting to take second. So now just to be getting that first out under your belt, you're really settled in.
That one's lined right at Snow, who stabs it over to his left. And Charlie Condon is set down on the first pitch of the at-bat, and there's two away. Unproductive out, and the Harbor Hawks have a chance of getting out of this.
Yeah, Snow has looked a lot better defensively after an early shaky start. We saw him make an error against Wareham, but ever since he's looked to be a lot more sure of a glove over at shortstop.
I got two away here. This is a big opportunity. Got to really focus on Laviolette here.
Laviolette takes just outside.
And they've let up runs in the first inning in 2 of their last 3 games, including one to Falmouth as well. So being able to get out of here unscathed would be a big plus to start this game off.
Just a little bit outside, tried to backdoor that.
You know
and he misses, so it's 2-0.
Laviolette comes in 2 for 8, batting .250 with 2 RBIs, trying to strike early here with Spikerman over there at third.
He's got count leverage here. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Outside. Missed with the slider at 80 miles an hour, and it's 3-0. Laviolette did not appear in that first game, but Falmouth's roster is almost completely turned over since that first game. The 3-0 is taken in there for strike.
And that's the beauty of college summer ball. Once you get some of your guys in, you change your roster, you change your lineup, because like we talked about, now this is a sweet spot where you're starting to see the guys from the super regionals and the regionals start coming back to your lineup because they've had their time at home. Now they want to continue playing baseball.
3-1 from Nichols is taken in there for strike 2.
And now you wonder how that changes the team dynamic as well, because we've talked about how different it is getting these guys, these different personalities in at the beginning of the season. You wonder how the guys who have started at the beginning of the season will mesh with the newer guys.
Full count delivery is swung on and missed. Another fastball blew it right by him at 93. Hyannis gets out of the inning unscathed. We head to the bottom of the first. Still no score on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Back with you at McKeon Park. No score after the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first, and this is how the Harbor Hawks will send out their lineup.
Yeah, leading it off will be Brad Keylori, the guy from the College of Central Florida, transferring to the University of Tennessee off that leadoff spot. Right now has 4 stolen bases, 3rd in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Billy Amick, who's already got 2 home runs to his names in the DH spot and hitting second from Clemson. Gavin Cash in left field today, like we talked about, the normal first baseman from Texas Tech finds his way over in one of the corners. Alex Lane resumes his normal position at first base, the Northeastern product, transferring to the Huskies from Bryant. Will Taylor, the two-way guy in center field, battles in. Cam Smith, the Florida State guy, at third base today in the hot corner. And at center, in at shortstop, Eric Snow, the USF Bull, and then Austin Kelly behind the plate, the Lipscomb Bison. Zach Earhart, the Oklahoma State Cowboy, in right field today. A nice lineup that's starting to come to play here and starting to get that full development as we enter here the second week.
And leading it off will be Brad Keylori, as he has in every other game here this season. First pitch to him as he shows bunt, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, that's a way to switch things up. We want to see a bit more out of him. Since the last game against Falmouth, he's only 2 for 16, picking one of those hits up last night. So he's been in a bit of a lull as of late. So switching it up, trying to get himself on in a different way, bunting himself on. He didn't show there, but it's good to see that he's trying to take some initiative and throw the lineup off a little bit out in the field.
The 0-1 is taken for a strike.
I like Laurie here having a conversation with the home plate umpire, Timothy Rosso. Figure out the zone there a little bit, especially like we talked about, leadoff batter. You don't know the zone as well.
Swing and a miss, and Carson Dorsey sets him down for the first out of the inning. And you see umpires kind of get demonized sometimes, and, you know, they're the bad guys. They're the enforcers of the rules and everything, but what a lot of people forget is they're people too. You can have conversations with them with, hey, was that an inch off the plate? Was that 2 inches off the plate? You see those conversations all the time. First pitch to Billy Amick is swung on and missed. Fastball low.
And a large majority of the umpires, I think, welcome that conversation as well, as they're willing to provide you help because they don't want to be a harm in your game.
0-1 is fouled off his foot.
Yeah, we've seen Amick in the 5-4-3, and now today the 2 spots. He's showing where he can get it done all across this lineup. And even though it was only a 3-hit day yesterday for the Harbor Hawks, he collected one of them, hitting out of the 3 spot. 2 of those 3 hits yesterday over the entire game came in the first inning. So seemed like they were off to a hot start, but even in the midst of a slight lull, Billy Amick always still staying hot.
0-2 to Amick as he pops that one up on the right side. Humphreys racing in, and the triangle of players come over, but calling everybody off is Martin, and he puts it away in shallow right field down the line for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, those plays are always tough because you've got 3 guys converging, 2 of which are kind of coming in on the ball. You've got the right fielder coming in on it, but the second baseman is ranging out. You normally see the second baseman take those, and that was a nice way of taking it there by Christian Martin. Nice work.
Gavin Cash stands in and takes outside for ball 1. Dorsey, a guy that throws fastball, curveball, slider, will mix in a changeup every now and then. Left-handed pitcher. Is that swung on and missed by Cash? 1-1.
Just going back to the play, it's just about those fundamentals. Even though there's a team full of new guys out here, it's really good work to be making these plays, just making the plays look as easy as that, because it's not as easy. It's just knowing your baseball fundamentals and having guys who are as good at that fundamental stuff out on the field.
0-2 the count, and that one's popped foul down the third base line. Dorsey's got a lot of cut movement on that fastball. Moving towards that glove side, so away from Gavin Cash, the left-handed hitter. 1-2 the count again. Cash strikes out swinging. Nice first inning from Carson Dorsey. We head to the second, still no score on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Back at McKeon Park, still no score after the first inning, and leading it off for Falmouth will be Ross Heifel, the Mississippi State product. He slugged .521 this year with 9 home runs.
Yeah, also a teammate of other fellow catcher Austin Kelly out here today. I mean, you see, it's guys like this who we're constantly seeing on the Cape. He had a 3-homer game in this season as well. He played against Austin Kelly's Lipscomb. So we're seeing the catchers on display here today at the highest of levels.
Now this is an in-state battle in Massachusetts between the Ole Miss pitcher Nichols, now the Mississippi State guy in Heifel, which is an interesting SEC, nice little in-state rivalry, the Egg Bowl in football, and then making it to the Diamond here a little bit.
Do they not call it the Egg Bowl in baseball either?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I just know football.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I knew that, but I'm not sure it would make sense to call it the Egg Bowl.
It would.
Do they have bowl games in baseball though?
No.
Yeah.
You could call it the Egg Game.
The Egg Game.
I don't know if that's necessarily.
The Egg Series.
No, yeah, I like that Egg Series.
Want to know the count? Nichols misses low again for ball 2.
Heifel's a guy that is third on base on balls with 6 in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but also has that power to get out and find himself on base via the hit, batting .294 with a home run already on the season.
Home runs are typically spread out early on in the Cape League season as guys get adjusted to the new league. 2-1 the count. Check swing, no swing. And it is 3-1.
Yeah, Arturo Belamonte, first base umpire, and Steven Calenda, the third base umpire today, with Timothy Rosso behind the plate.
3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. It's high and tight and called ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Heifel. That'll bring up Colby Shelton.
Yeah, it's the second inning now with a leadoff walk dealt by Nichols, and he worked around it well in that first inning, so got to channel that same energy and really lock and load. But seeing that in the first 2 innings, putting yourself a little bit down for the count can't feel that good.
Shelton out of Alabama. As Heifel gets his lead off first, here's the pitch, taken outside.
Yeah, you guys get your school plugs in. I get mine here as he'll be next year playing for now Rob Vaughn, as he was Maryland's old baseball coach, as he's just been brought in within the last few days.
1-0, here's the pitch, high and away. Perhaps still trying to find that release point on the fastball. He throws a lot of them, nearly 60% fastballs.
Watch Heifel here.
2-0 the count, swung on and missed. Went right back to the fastball.
Heifel's taking an aggressive 2-hopper off of first. I wouldn't be shocked, especially with his speed and ability, to try and push and get a stolen base.
Kelly behind home plate, ready to throw one down to second. Infield at double play depth. 2-1 the count. Long pause, and here's the pitch, and that one's popped foul.
This is what we've seen from Nichols, which I've really liked. He comes battling back into counts. He does not go out. Might allow a couple balls to come in, but he's able to work the outside part of the plate and the inside part of the plate to get the batter to swing and foul off pitches to pick up those 2 strikes.
2-2 the count. We do it again. Here's the pitch, low for a ball. Count runs full. Falmouth doing a good job of staying disciplined, running the counts deep into counts. Got a couple of full counts here in this one. Once again, a 3-2. We'll see if Heifel's in motion. He is not. Here's the pitch, foul back.
Coming into this, AB had 27 pitches already thrown. So a little bit of a healthy first couple batters here to start your outing off.
Full count once again. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up. Shallow left. Drifting back is Smith. And he's under it and makes the play for the first out. So no movement from Heifel on a full count. He had a couple of opportunities with the full count, but they decide not to send him.
Interesting early here in this game. You could go either way with it, try and get a bit of an aggressive start as we saw in the first inning, but not to be in that at bat.
And in stands Nathan Humphreys. Throw over to first is not in time.
And Nichols thought, well, we were thinking up here in the booth there a little bit. Wants to keep him tied a little close to first.
Falmouth on the season, 6 stolen bases. They've been caught stealing 5 times. I suppose after that stolen base back in the first, that's now 7 and 5. Another throw over. Humphreys out of Dallas Baptist University. Pitch is taken in there for strike 1.
What a great powerhouse in college baseball Dallas Baptist is. One team that continuously finds themselves in the NCAA tournament.
He slugged nearly .650 this year. 0-1, fouled off down the left field line. He hit over .350. All a part of Dallas Baptist finishing at the top of Conference USA and dropped their tournament final game to Charlotte. Only played his second game of the season last night for Falmouth. This is his third. 0-2, runner in motion. Pitch is taken high, throw down is not in time. So a stolen base for Heifel. And Falmouth has a runner on second with 1 out.
We talked about it as soon as we saw Heifel get on that he was itching to go. You saw him taking those couple jumps, and finally in his second batter gets the jump he wants and is able to go.
Yeah, strategic approach to be going at this point in the at-bat as well, having the hit and run on two with only 1 out. They waited, and they chose the right time to send him.
Now Humphreys in an RBI opportunity, but he strikes out swinging. Fastball inner third of the plate, and he swings and misses for the second out.
Well, that stolen base now takes away the play at any base, but it's another, again, a big out in this situation because now you just know that all you need is that 1 out to go into sending the bats up still clean.
And here's Christian Martin from Virginia Tech. First pitch to him is lined out to left field. Drifting back is Cash, now on the edge of the warning track, reaches up with that left hand and makes the play for the out number 3. We're through 1.5. Still no score from McKeon Park on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Back with you at McKeon Park. Let's take a look around the CCBL.
Let's start closer to the Atlantic Ocean in the East with Brewster pacing the East Division with 4-2-1 with 9 points to their name. YD closest behind them at 4-2-1 with 9 points as well. A little bit of lockjaw up there in the East. Then Harwich 4-3-0 with 8 points. Chatham in at 2-4-1 at 5 points. Orleans falling behind in the East Division 2-5-0 with 4 points. Now moving closer to the land, it's Cotuit pacing 6-1-0, maybe the hottest team on the Cape Cod right now, with Wareham right behind them at 4-3-0 and 8 points. Hyannis 3-4 with 6. Falmouth 2-3-2 with 6, and Bourne falling behind in the West 1-5-1 with 3 points.
How about that season Cotuit is having right now?
I mean, really, 6 wins already. I mean, they're tops in average. They're tops in terms of lowest ERA. I mean, it's clicking on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, of course their offense is impressive as Alex Lane stands in and count even at 1-1 for him. Of course, their hitting is impressive, and it needs to be if you already get out to 5 wins, but these guys can pitch. That one's taken low. They are far and away have allowed the least earned runs on the season. They lead the next closest by 9. That's Bourne. 2-1 the count to Lane. Takes inside.
Yeah, it needs to happen on both sides of the ball. You can't just have the best offense. You need it on both sides, and the pitching has just been absolutely ballistic to start the year so far. We'll see Cotuit on Wednesday, so that'll be an intriguing clash for the Battle of Barnstable.
Lane takes high for ball 4, and the Harbor Hawks have their first base runner of the ball game.
Yeah, nice opening at bat. We didn't see Lane last night as we saw Gavin Cash at first. You would think that Lane is in there with a little bit of a logjam, so going to be splitting time just a little bit, you would think, with all the talent that could be at first base in Cash and maybe even Amick sometimes. So good opening at bat to build some confidence back in his first at bat in a few games.
So here's Will Taylor out of Clemson. Of course, we mentioned it pregame. Throw over to first is not in time. Lane kind of hesitated getting back. Interesting play, but it was dropped by Condon. But Taylor, we mentioned it in pregame, plays both football and baseball. And in a Power 5 school, that's one of the more impressive things you've seen.
Just really speaks to his athleticism and his drive as well for athletics, because that's a lot of practice time on both sides of the ball. You don't necessarily get an off season, especially in those situations where you finish up summer ball, then you go right into summer camp for college football. So you are living and breathing Clemson athletics.
Taylor checked his swing, but gets a piece of it and fouls it back. One and one the count. Taylor takes strike 2.
Yeah, just going back to what we were talking about in terms of the standings.
Yeah.
This is a early in the season with Cotuit really pacing. This is an all right sized game between two teams who have seen each other once already. Hyannis looking to try and get back into their groove, getting back within and leveling as of now what would be the second place team would be imperative.
That one's lined down the left field line, giving Trace's Tracy, and he's not going to get there. Lane had to hold up to make sure that one fell, and he's going to be held at third, but for now, it is a double for Taylor, and with nobody out in the inning, Hyannis has second and third.
Big spot there. Once again, we talk about it. Will Taylor letting the ball come to him. Does a great job of getting bat-on-ball contact, sneaking it into the corner down left field. And Tracy's there in a tough spot where he has to go running because it was dribbling away from him. Now, big spot for Cam Smith.
Yeah, big spot is right. We saw in the game against Bourne, they had runners on second and third, nobody out in a potential game-tying situation late in the game. So they didn't come away with anything from that situation. So early in this game now, you're going to want to see better situational hitting.
And this is the battle here. Hyannis is 2-0 when scoring first. Falmouth is 2-1 when scoring first. If whoever scores first has a really high probability to come home with the win. So getting that first run across the board is really huge. Hyannis set up here.
Off-speed pitch taken outside for a ball. And forget records. If you score first, you just have a better chance of winning. You don't even need that, stat to illustrate how important it is.
You have the pendulum swing your way right off the start where it's pretty stagnant right here. You want to have momentum.
1-1. Smith swings and misses. Falmouth and Hyannis will square off once again a week from today, next Monday. And we mentioned Katuitt being atop of the standings. We were supposed to see them on Saturday, but that game got rained out, and that got pushed to Wednesday as Smith strikes out swinging. So with one out in the inning, that'll bring up Eric Snow. That Katuitt game is going to be electric. And I'm looking forward to it.
Especially since you get a home and home with them.
Yeah.
Back-to-back nights, seeing the same team again. Can't change all that much in one night's rest. So really exciting that get to see them twice in back-to-back. A little bit more of the MLB-like style and a little bit of some of the other college baseball leagues where you get a series with the team. It almost starts to feel like a series when you do that.
1-0 is taken in there for strike one. And
go ahead.
And Katuitt, being the rival of Hyannis, the Battle of Barnstable, we all know, and having faced them off recently in the playoffs where there is a little bit of bad blood there, that makes it all that more enjoyable.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what fans want to see is a real good battle with a little bit of a story behind it as well. And for rivalry games like that, it would be cool to maybe see that, to see a back-to-back or maybe even a third game in a row, a series like between two rival teams.
We got it last year in the playoffs. Hyannis, of course, coming out on top of that three-game series to go to the Western Championship. That one's grounded back to the pitcher, and he's going to keep Lane at third. Dorsey did a good job of pump faking to the home plate and then taking his time to fire over to first to retire Eric Snow.
Great job there by Dorsey. Checking Lane over at third. Doesn't immediately go right to the play automatically because then that would have let Lane there start to creep in and have to go right ahead. But now with him checking, keeping Lane put, but still two away here. Got to get bat-on-ball contact and he's got to get down.
So here's the catcher, Austin Kelly. First pitch is taken outside. Zach Earhart would be next.
Yeah, this is your time if you're Kelly to make a good impression here because the two guys in front of you couldn't get it done. So we saw it in the season for him with Lipscomb hitting nearly 300. He slugged nearly 650 with Lipscomb. So to be able to get these two runs in here would be massive.
The 1-0 is taken inside for a ball, so he has count leverage here. Overshift is on. The shortstop, DeBurge, is playing just to the right of that second base bag. Three infielders on the right side of the infield. The 2-0 is taken in there for a strike off speed.
And we talked about Kelly originally starting the summer with Falmouth, seeing him in batting practice and being a coach that scouted Kelly himself. He knows how he likes to play baseball, allowing this shift to be even more effective.
Off speed again, take it in there for strike 2. And a 2-0 count traditionally is a fastball count. Had to be thinking about that. But now in a 2-2, can't really guess. Got to shorten up and protect the plate. Here's the pitch. That one's tapped foul down the first base line. 2-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. As Jacob Irons would say, it's doses wild. Is that what you said?
Yep, doses wild. And it's even, because you even got 2 runners
Two
now,
on,
too.
yep.
2 on,
Yep.
2 outs.
2-2 count.
In the second.
Really deuces wild here.
2-2 is fouled back. Good battle put on here from Kelly.
Now, that's what you want to see. If
Yeah.
you were expecting a fastball in that fastball count, you didn't see it, you take those pitches, that's fine. But now he's fouled off 2 pitches in a row. He has shortened up, and he is working this at-bat.
He's got a lot of room on that left side of the infield to try and shoot one over there and get it into the outfield. Could score 2 runs. Lane at third, Taylor at second as he pops another one foul. A lot of speed at second with Taylor, who's the center fielder.
And the center fielder out in the field, Spikerman, is shaded over towards that side just in case to cover the gap that is made by the overshift.
But then you leave that big
Right center
gap
field.
in right center field there, so you've got to hope that the Bars is able to get there.
Kelly fouls another one back.
Now the 9th pitch of this at-bat coming. A great job by Kelly working a quality AB here to not go down without a fight in the box here in a big moment.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of deep counts in this game. 2-2 again.
38th pitch here from Dorsey.
Kelly lines that one down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul. He was close to that one. 78-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. He just got out in front of it.
Yeah, you just talked about a few deep counts. We've seen it over these last few games. It's just, we've talked about the offense being in a bit of a lull, but their at-bats are decent. And it's just, as you see the line foul there, it's just the end result that's missing so far.
2-2 again. Here's the pitch, and it's high and tight, and it hit him. Another hit by pitch for the Harbor Hawks, and that was one heck of an at-bat from Austin Kelly.
Did not go down without a fight. Kelly stayed in there and owned the box. He never got scared. He was confident in that box, continuing to foul off pitches, and now we've got bases loaded here on this situation.
And it's for Zach Earhart. Feels like everybody's kind of newer on this Harbor Hawks team. Earhart just joining the team a couple of days ago. Another guy that can make a big impression early. Dorsey sets and delivers, and it's high and away. Want to know the count? Earhart out of Oklahoma State at 5'11". Here's the pitch. Off speed, taken in there for a strike. He was drafted by Boston in 2021 in the 13th round. He's a guy that has a lot of athleticism. He led the Oklahoma State Cowboys with 11 stolen bases. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's another off-speed pitch taken in there for a strike. Now he's got to get that bat off his shoulder.
I just saw him take a deep breath there as we take a look at his numbers on the college season. He knows that it's time, and he has to lock in.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, way outside. And a good stop by Ross Heifel.
Heifel coming out of the scrouch there and gets out and gets his arm way up high because that one was clear over the head of Earhart in a big moment.
Can't let anything get to the backstop here. That runner at third. It's Lane at third, Taylor at second. Here's the pitch, and it's taken down and in for ball 3. And another good at-bat here from the Harbor Hawks, forcing Dorsey to throw a lot of pitches, and now he absolutely has to come in the zone.
Yeah, quality ABs. That's what you want. That's what we talked about in the pregame. One of the keys to the game. Be confident. Fans erupting. This is a big moment.
3-2 the count. 2 outs in the second. Here's the pitch to Earhart, and he taps that one foul. Here you see the Harbor Hawks fans appreciating some good, gritty at-bats. Bases loaded. Harbor Hawks trying to strike first here against Falmouth. Carson Dorsey trying to work out of it. Earhart strikes out swinging. Great job by Carson Dorsey to buckle down and get out of the inning. Harbor Hawks leave the bases loaded. We head to the third. Still no score from McKeon Park. This is the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Still no score headed into the third inning, and the lights are coming on here at McKeon Park, which means they stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC's offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans. I prefer Hyannis. Both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit the NAC Cape Cod to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the Light the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long. Still no score. Mason Nichols back out for his second inning of work. He walked the leadoff hitter in both innings, but has gotten out of both of them.
Yeah, a big spot here for Nichols to continue on. Like we said, came in for the summer, did not necessarily think about being a starter, but in this moment has done a great job of coming in and being a starter.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, we saw Nichols out of a bullpen role early in the season, but this would be around the time where we may start to see a little bit of action in the bullpen. We don't have it so far, so it would suggest that this, unless it starts to unravel, it could be Nichols' inning, and he could be going even further into this game.
Tab Tracy, the final Falmouth hitter who has not seen Nichols in this game. It's going to be 9-1-2 with Spikerman and DeBurge due up. First pitch shows bunt, but pulls back and takes ball 1. Falmouth trying to perhaps manufacture a run.
Tab Tracy, one of the consistent guys we saw in the last meeting back on the 14th, went 2 for 3 in that 6-inning affair.
Sets down a bunt, but that one will roll foul. Count at 1-1. Nichols through 3 innings this season so far. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 hits allowed. And that's not including the 2 innings that he's thrown today. As Tracy had run down that first base line and finally back into the box. He's walked 2 today, but has also struck out 2. Pretty good start for him so far. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it skips in there for ball 2.
Yeah, good start is just keeping keeping Hyannis in this game. They had their first chance. They had the bases loaded and couldn't scratch anything across, but couldn't really be asking for too much more, especially after walking the first two leadoff batters, still coming out of these innings unscathed.
2-1 in there for a strike.
That's what the Hyannis pitching has done all year, has just given the offense a chance consistently throughout this young season.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch, taken just inside. Tracy backed out of the way of that one, and it's 3-2. Another full count in this game. And it's not exclusive to one side. It's just been both sides have been doing a great job of working the count, seeing a lot of pitches, and that one's fouled off. What else is new?
Talk about it. Just strong quality ABs being strung together. Now 40 pitches here for Nichols so far on the day.
Another 3-2. That one's a little jam shot to the middle of the infield and over into his right. Laurie makes the play, and there's one away. Good jump by Laurie to get over on that one. Looked for a second like it was a little bit of a sinking soft line drive that could have gotten down. Would have been a tough play to get Tracy at first, but Laurie had no problem with it.
So now we see for the first inning in this game, of this short game, the leadoff hitter being retired. So now we'll see how Nichols works for the rest of this inning.
Now it's John Spikerman. He walked back in the first, stole a base, and then advanced to third on a throwing error. Takes that one just inside for ball 2.
And we've talked about Nichols' whip coming into this game from his college season. It was a 1.3, so pretty holding true to that whip with only allowing one on normally in his outings in an inning.
2-0 is lying down the first base line foul. Third baseman Smith was in on the last pitch, perhaps guarding against the bunt, but now backs up a couple of steps back on the dirt. Spikerman lines that one out to right field. Earhart ranging back, short of the track, makes the play for the second out.
Earhart doing a great job following that pitch the entire way, using the warning track to his advantage. You saw him not necessarily needing to stick his arm out to try and feel for the fence because he understood the gravel was right there to alert him. Starting a little bit of motion, but great job there.
First pitch is taken outside for a ball. A little bit of movement in the Falmouth bullpen.
Yeah, Brendan Davis from Sam Houston State up and moving. Interested to see if he comes out and ends Dorsey's night.
0-1 is taken high and away for a ball.
Big spot here for DeBarge in this situation. Once again, we talk about it. You want to try and work a run in any way possible. Even with 2 outs, that first one's going to be key.
DeBarge lines that one into left center field, and that is down and into the gap. He's going to try and take second. The throw in is a strong one, but it skips by everybody, and he's going to try and take third here, and he will. Taylor had a nice little one-hop throw into second base, but it got past Laurie, and there was nobody behind it, and eventually Lane, the first baseman, tracked it down, picked it up. So DeBarge is on to third.
And that's the last thing you want to be doing with 2 outs and Charlie Condon coming up. The season that he had at Georgia, bringing that prowess to the Cape so far. It's a really scary hitter to be bringing up with a runner in scoring position.
First pitch is taken in there. Nichols was gunning for his first 1-2-3 inning of this one, but Had it ruined by DeBarge there. So it looks like it's going to be ruled a double and an error. That one's grounded up the middle, but Snow's right in front of it, and he handles it no problem. Throw on to first is in time for the third out of the inning. DeBarge is stranded at third. We head to the bottom half of the third. And now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Bria Losick. Bria?
Today, but last night he was dealing on the mound. He faced 6 batters and retired all of them, 4 via the strikeout. And how did he do that? He said that his slider was working for him a lot better than his last outing, and it's definitely true. He induced 4 more inches of horizontal break last night on that slider, threw it for a strike about 87.5% of the time, which is a pretty good metric. So Jay is improving every day, and it looks like Ray Korn is definitely working with him out there in the bullpen. Back to you guys.
You know the sound Duncan Ice makes? Of course you do. It's the
Thank you, Bria. Jay Driver has been great this year. He's, of course, returning, as she mentioned, from last year and has gotten off to a dominant start.
It's just like we talk about, that experience of being on Cape Cod is really helpful, and a guy that loves his Cape Cod experience. That man loves mini golf, he loves the beach, and he loves being a part of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks team.
Yeah, he turned in a really solid performance yesterday against Brewster. 2 scoreless innings in relief of Ty Good, coming third out of the bullpen. 4 strikeouts as well. That was all he did. 2 perfect innings. We also saw 5 innings of really good work out of the starting position a few games ago. So a really, really nice second season for Jay Driver so far.
A guy that if you only lay eyes on his windup, he's just going to look like a reliever because of his arm slot. But he can start. He can start games. He has a little bit of length to him and can play and can eat up innings.
Yeah, Brendan Davis, the new hurler on the mound for the Commodores. Had a 2.78 ERA in 24 games this year for Sam Houston State. Was primarily a reliever and doing a relief for Carson Dorsey, who had a pretty strong night.
Yeah, Dorsey ends with 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And, of course, no runs on his ledger. And leading it off is the leadoff hitter himself, Brad Keylori. Taken inside for ball 2. Laurie, not a guy that you want to walk. A lot of speed.
And we talked about they're only allowing Dorsey to go 1 time through the lineup here. Really quickly, already making that change so that Dorsey never was seen again by the lineup.
Yeah, smart. Of course, we mention it pretty much every day that every time you go through the lineup, the average batting average goes up. And it's most recognizable, most noticeable on that 3rd time through the order, but it also does the 2nd time. And in an effort to avoid that, they've taken Dorsey out. But the leadoff walk is issued to Laurie, and in stands Billy Amick.
I like Laurie here.
Sending him?
I would send him.
Yep.
I think he's got the speed. You want to try and manufacture a run here.
That one's popped up. Right side of the infield. Condon into foul territory. He gets under it and makes the play for the first out.
Now with 1 away, maybe you want to create something on a hit and run here, especially with Laurie's speed like we talked about. Coming into today's game, 4 stolen bases, 3rd in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Has worked his way on base.
Yeah, it's a smart check, and I was going to say before Amick popped out that both he and Cash are both good enough hitters that they can put a hit and run in place. They've been aggressive so far early in the season. It wouldn't be a surprise to see it here again.
That one's popped up off the knuckles. It's right at DeBarge, who puts it away for the second out of the inning. So 2 straight infield pop-ups for the Harbor Hawks, and quickly 2 away for Alex Lane, who walked back in the second.
Yeah, we've only seen one bit of real hard contact today, and that was Taylor's double. It's just been all pop-ups to the infield and even just one ground out along with a few strikeouts as well.
Lane, the first baseman tonight. Pitch to him is tapped foul.
Yeah, Lane, the Northeastern Husky, batted .318 for him. He's come in and done a good job so far for the Hawks. Batting .200, 4 for 20 with 2 RBIs.
Pitch is taken down and away. Lane, one of the few players that have been on the roster all season for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, and it's smart putting him back in today amongst all of the new guys to be able to just put some experience in that lineup. He's got a few games under his belt, as you said, been here since the beginning, so he's got that experience where Cash may not, and he's still adjusting to the wood bat.
Lane's been pretty steady throughout the year. Hasn't had an insane game, but has gotten a hit pretty much every night as they send Laurie, but the pitch is fouled back.
We talked about it was only going to be a matter of time before they sent Laurie, especially with his speed. Lane fouling it off there sends Laurie back, but I would have to imagine the same thing happens here. Laurie will have a step off.
Last time against Falmouth, Lane went 2 for 3 with an RBI. 2-1 is hit deep to center field, giving chases Spikerman, now ranging in, and he makes the play. That one was hit very well by Alex Lane, but it's put away for the 3rd out of the inning. Still no score. We head to the 4th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Kino. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Jace Lavalette will lead it off for the Commodores here against Mason Nichols, entering his 4th inning of work, guys. He's looked pretty good.
He has looked really strong. When you look at Nichols so far, he's only allowed 1 hit, struck out 2 through his 12 batters faced. Still not too much movement over in the Harbor Hawks bullpen, but his college stats really speak to Nichols' drive and tenacity on the mound.
Yeah, drive and tenacity, especially after 3 innings of allowing a runner on in each. He started off the first 2 innings with a leadoff walk, and then a 2-out double from DeBarge, and a throwing error got him on 3rd base with Charlie Condon up. And to be able to get out of all 3 of those speaks to that tenacity.
And also, not a typical starter, more of a relief pitcher starting here today for the Harbor Hawks, and so far has done a great job.
Here's the all-SEC freshman, Jace Lavalette, and as he takes the first pitch, high and away. Slugged over 600 for them, 632. Want to know the count? Here's the pitch, and it skips in there for ball 2.
He's a hulking player standing at 6'6" in that lefty batter's box. He had a really good year for the Aggies this season. All freshman team and All-America team across quite a few baseball websites in the country.
The 2-0, he takes up and in, so he's quickly ahead, 3-0. And here's the all-encompassing question. Do you give him the green light on 3-0?
yellow. If he likes it, swing away, but I would hold off here.
And he takes ball 4. You know, I'm kind of a fan of that yellow light. I used to say I'm a green light fan, but maybe, yeah, just make sure that pitch is going to be perfect for you to hit.
And I think there's also, you have to add an asterisk next to Laviolette's here as well, because he was the leadoff guy, but they'll make a change here for the Harbor Hawks.
Coach Eric Beatty making his way to the mound, and we'll have a new pitcher, and we'll tell you all about him on the other side. This is the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de bateo, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
New pitcher for the Harbor Hawks is the New Mexico State Aggie, Matthew Maloney.
Yeah, Matthew Maloney coming in from college, had a 4.81 ERA, 39.1 innings pitched. Guy's really solid. Really excited to see what he produces again here on the mound.
Yeah, came from Orange Coast College. He was all preseason. He was the preseason all WAC team as well, WAC being the conference, and he came in big spots too. So we talk about pitching in high leverage situations. He came in a big rivalry game against New Mexico, and he blanked those guys with 2 runners on. So you come in another high leverage spot, especially in a scoreless game, as the innings go on, and with each passing base runner, doesn't matter where they are, it becomes high leverage. So you've got a trustworthy guy in Maloney having come in a few big spots.
Yeah, this is his 3rd game here on the Cape that he'll come in for relief. Has only pitched in those 2 games, 2.1 innings pitched, so a little bit of a shorter outing for Maloney, but hasn't allowed a hit yet through his relief.
Hasn't allowed a run either. He's a guy that mainly features a fastball, but will throw a curveball about a third of the time. Occasionally he'll throw a slider. Not very often, though, but mainly fastball curve for him as he tries to navigate this Falmouth order. Night is closed for Mason Nichols, who goes 3+ innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he is responsible for the runner Lavalette at first base right now. And the first assignment for Maloney will be Ross Heifel. Infield at double play depth, corners step or 2 in as the throw over to first is not in time. First pitch to him is lined deep into left center field. Going back is Cash, and he's going to watch this one go over the wall and into the trees. Home run for Ross Lavalette, and Falmouth has struck first here in the 4th inning.
Highfield just got every piece of it. That thing was out of here in a hurry. Falmouth getting on the board quickly here in this one, and a big, towering shot in the left center field.
Yeah, on Maloney's first batter of the game, too. He had been strong coming into this, so not the start that you want if you're Matt Maloney seeing that, or if you're Coach Eric Beatty.
First pitch is in there to Colby Shelton. That was felt like a low line drive that might have knocked down a tree out there. That one was scorched. Count evens at 1-1. And now for Maloney, you got to buckle down. Yes, that was a home run. That maybe wasn't the best pitch, but that runner at first wasn't your responsibility, so maybe there's a little bit of a takeaway from that. So he tries to check his swing, but it's called a strike anyway. And now you just got to buckle down and just attack the corners.
And now you basically start with a fresh set. You've got the runners off. You've got the home run, yes, but now you start completely clean and act as if that didn't happen and just navigate through this inning to look for the 3 outs. Don't worry about those 2 runs on the board anymore.
1-2 is taken high. Count evens again at 2-2.
Like you said, now you have a clean slate behind you. Try and work here to get your 2 outs.
Shelton takes a pitch that skipped about 4 or 5 feet in front of home plate for a ball, and it's 3-2. Shelton in the first popped out on the infield to Smith over at third. Falmouth has taken the lead here in the top of the 4th on a long home run from Heifel as he swings and misses. Shelton goes down on strikes, and there's 1 away.
Big response there from Maloney after allowing the home run. Fire back with a strikeout. Now regain your confidence on the bump and able to settle back in.
85 miles an hour on that one for the first out of the inning, and here's Nathan Humphreys, who struck out in the second. First pitch is a big off-speed pitch and misses for ball 1. Another curveball taken high for a ball. Again, that 2-pitch mix for Maloney, fastball and curveball. Sometimes that's all it takes. With Maloney, he's very effective with those 2. 2-0 is fouled back on a fastball. The speedometer says 55 miles an hour, but I am willing to bet a lot of money that that was not 55.
No. Yeah, Humphreys had a good year, hitting above 350 for Dallas Baptist. We talk about what a great program they've become out of Conference USA.
It was pulled foul, so good job of battling back after going down 2-0. Back to 2-2.
That's what I love about baseball is that you see guys like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Power 5 team that's up in the rankings every single year. We've seen Dallas Baptist consistently in those top 25 rankings.
Best one so far, Oral Roberts in the Men's College World Series. A beautiful example of it. 4 seed going all the way to Omaha.
Yeah.
Curveball taken low.
It just shows. It comes from anywhere, and you don't really need to be that. You have your Tennessees, your Vanderbilts, your consistent players every year out of the SEC, but then you get those 3-4 seeds who can make a play at something. And Dallas Baptist, you could even argue, is turning into a 2 or maybe even a 1 seed in the coming years, depending on their players coming in. And it's also great because you're not going to see the big names, the Jack Caglianone kind of names. It's just you see these guys out of nowhere putting together these really great seasons, and they turn into some really fun teams.
3-2. It's a curveball that he waits on and pokes it out to shallow left, and Snow makes the play on the edge of the grass in the dirt for out number 2. So good job fighting back from Maloney.
Great response there, back-to-back outs after the home run was given up. Trying to get out of this unscathed. We talked about it. The Harbor Hawks started to find something there. They've been getting base runners on. They just got to get that one timely hit.
Christian Martin stands in and swings and misses at the first pitch. He flew out to left back in the second. That one read 35 miles an hour. 0-1 the count, long pause, and he delivers low for a ball. 2 runs in in the inning for Falmouth as they are on the board getting our scoring started tonight. 1-1 the count to Martin. Here's the pitch. Big curveball taken in there for a strike.
Yeah, and by no means the Harbor Hawks had this. It's only a 2-run game. It's only the 4th inning. And we've seen over the last few games, as you said, Jacob, just the end result not being there. So the pitching has really given them a chance to stay in these games, as it has today so far. It was a strong start from Nichols. And, yeah, a home run like that is going to happen here and there. So if you're the offense, you're thinking, okay, we're down a little bit. Let's just get our pitcher back up here.
Pitching has been phenomenal all season long. 1-2. Popped up. Left side giving chases Smith, but this one will slice its way out of play into the netting. And it's still 1-2. And another deep battle in a count here.
And we saw it in the last at bat. Bearing down did Maloney, not allowing Humphreys to beat him there. So he's got to do it again here. He's got a pitch to waste, too, if he really wants to.
Pitch is taken low for a ball. A good curveball there. It just dove out of the zone. Looks like they're getting the pie eating contest all set up down the third baseline, a new tradition here at McKeon Park.
Yeah, brought to you by the Centerville Pie Company, providing pies for all home games. Thank you, Centerville Pies.
Brushed him back on the 2-2, 3-2.
Bates down in the bullpen, the two-way guy out of Louisiana Tech, starting to get warm for the Harbor Hawks, but right now Maloney trying to work out of here in the full count.
Martin about to see a 3-2 pitch. Our own Bria Losick hosts that over the loudspeakers here at McKeon Park, the pie eating contest. 3-2 the count. And that one's knuckled down the third base line. It's tried to be stabbed by Smith. He's not going to get there. It's going to trickle away from him towards the bullpen. But he'll get it back in and hold Martin to a single.
Smith just a mere inches away from getting his glove on it to make a play. He was leaning out, trying to get there. Steven Kalenda, the third base umpire, also out there trying to read whether it was a fair ball or foul. Now a runner on here for Maloney.
Yeah, Smith got his glove on it. You could maybe see it and wonder about the spin on the ball. Maybe that's why that could have popped out of Smith's glove there.
Curveball taken in there for a strike to tap Tracy. Martin gets his lead from first as we'll see if he's in motion here. Tracy swings and misses. Quickly 0-2 to him.
Another great response here from Maloney to respond after the base hit, try and get this batter out and get the Harbor Hawks back into the dugout.
Not a huge downside in sending Martin from first here as he does go, and it swung on and missed, and that'll end the inning. Good job by Matthew Maloney to battle back after the home run with nobody out. And we head to the bottom of the fourth. Falmouth strikes first. It's 2-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You gotta come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. And that is Hiro Yokoyama chowing down on some pie down the third base line.
He is struggling right now. Both of them are laughing. They can't control it. They keep looking at each other. They can't take themselves seriously right now.
This is one of the craziest pie eating contests I've seen. Is he's going to get a final bite in? Who's going to be the winner?
Let's see. Bria's down there. She's going to judge it out.
And it's Hiro Yokoyama. Hiro Yamada wins the pie eating contest via, I guess the tiebreaker is the crowd, how loud the crowd cheers for you. I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, we're back to baseball here at McKeon Park. As the Harbor Hawks will look to battle back. They gave up 2 runs in the top half of the inning, and that will bring up Will Taylor to lead it off.
I'm going to have to keep a running tally of who's going to be winning these pie eating contests. Don't know if they're going to be doing intern versus player every night, but do they do players every night?
They do someone from the staff every night, and then someone from the stands is supposed to do it. But maybe if an intern's in there, we can maybe we can toss you out there, Michael.
Wait, why me? Why me?
I thought you were pitching yourself there.
Oh no, that's not what I was saying. No, I was saying we need to keep a running count.
I thought you were leading into.
No. Well, no, fair enough, but no, I won't. Not you guys. I was struggling to eat the clam chowder a few nights
How
ago.
about Michael Kirsting versus Jacob Irons?
In what, pie eating
contest?
Not in golf. Just not in golf.
2-1 the count to Will Taylor. Pitch is taken in there for a strike. The second baseman, Martin, is playing back on the grass, but he does creep in as the pitch is thrown.
I don't like getting dirty when I eat,
Okay.
so that might be a problem in a pie eating contest.
Okay.
Not a big ribs guy, eating with a fork.
Oh, really?
Like, I am very much buffalo wings.
Really?
Dude.
So you're a boneless guy,
The amount of napkins that have to be sitting next to me when I eat anything messy is next level.
What is happening? 3-2 the count to Taylor as he swings and misses for strike 3.
Napkins and next level aren't words that I've heard in the same sentence before.
So that'll bring up Cam Smith. Brendan Davis back out for another inning of work, and he gets a swing and a miss from Cam Smith. Infield straight up, outfield straight up as he swings and misses again. Davis doing a good job coming in here for that third inning. Walked the leadoff hitter, Laurie, but got out of that one. A couple of soft contact. Misses low here.
Yeah, Smith had two hit games before last night against Brewster, so he was feeling himself a little bit, but now he hits that cold streak, as the whole team did last night with only 3 hits. So looking to keep that same energy back up and regain it.
1-2 the count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout in a row for Davis, and that will bring up Eric Snow.
And it's only a matter of time, Michael, that you talk about it, that this team will find their bat. There is no doubt about it. They will get there, and it's relying on Eric Snow, a guy that's been here for a long time, really to lead them so far.
Snow swings and misses.
Well, they've had their bats, too. So at any point in the season, bats can go cold. So it's just about getting through that rut and then just persevering through it, and especially in this case with the Harbor Hawks, finding the form that they had before. They know they can do it because they have done it earlier in the season. And we're only 7 games into the season, now 8 here. So it's just about finding the form they had before.
Way outside to Eric Snow.
Yeah, Bates up and moving in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Have to imagine you might see him after how limited Skip Eric Beatty has used Maloney. He's only used him in 1 innings so far.
Ground to the left side, short hop by DeBars, and that one's thrown away. It'll get back towards the dugout, and it goes into the dugout, so Snow is awarded second base on what should be, I believe, an infield single and a throwing error. And, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it took a huge hop on Colby Shelton at third. He took a dive, but as he was diving, the ball just completely jumped over him, and that led it to DeBarge, who even had a little bit of a surprise himself that the ball was in his possession, so he double pumped, and by the time he threw, Snow was already safe, and he's now reached second base on the error.
So here's Austin Kelly, swing and a miss. Kelly had that huge at-bat back in the second that felt like it lasted an hour and a half that ended with him getting hit by a pitch. And that one gets to the backstop. Gets past Heifel, and moving up is Eric Snow on the wild pitch.
So this is something we haven't had too much of a chance to see, is these extra chances that the Harbor Hawks have now been awarded here, taking advantage of them when it shouldn't necessarily have been given to them. This is where they can really build their character.
Here's the pitch, and that one's popped up off the knuckles, slicing towards the dugout, and it will bounce on top of the dugout and out of play. So 1-2 the count. Kelly started yesterday. He's pretty good behind the plate. And as I mentioned earlier, was hit by a pitch back in the second. .296 hitter at Lipscomb this year. Had 12 home runs. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That one's popped foul. More resiliency shown by Kelly.
This guy has worked quality ABs. There's no way around it, Mickey. When he is settled into the box, he's saying, hold on, I'm going to put up a picnic blanket. I'm going to be here for a hot second.
1-2 is skipped in there for ball two. Again, an overshift on for him, expecting him to pull it to the right side.
He understands this is his box, and he's able to own it here in this spot.
2-2 is lined down the first base line, but just foul. Almost enough for the Harbor Hawks' first run, but it just went foul, and another good at-bat from Kelly.
Definitely caught the sweet spot on that one. Really nice sounding swing. He's just got to get it in between those two white lines now. But again, yeah, as you guys said, really, really good at bat to continue this.
Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch fooled Kelly, and that will end the fourth. We head to the fifth. It's 2-0 Falmouth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Ethan Bates, the two-way player from Louisiana Tech, the new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks, his first outing as a Hawk on the mound.
Yeah, we've seen him in the lineup last night, and then we saw him as a pinch hitter, but now this is the first time you're going to be able to see the Bulldog on the bump here on Cape Cod. Comes in with a stellar 3.02 ERA, has a whip of 1.19. Once again, that whip, really key. And then that 44 innings pitch, it's not like he was a two-way guy that wasn't used. He was a guy that was used continuously for LA Tech.
And we were wondering if he was going to be used as the two-way player here on the Cape, and he is. I mean, if you're as good as you are as Ethan Bates is in both of those roles, why not use him in both roles here on the Cape?
Bates predominantly features a fastball, slider, and changeup in his arsenal.
Bates.
And will face the top of the lineup for Falmouth.
And that's why you make the move here if you're Skip Eric Beatty. It's because you have the potent batters in 1, 2, and 3. That's why you want to get a fresh face. We talk about it continuously. Get a fresh face and get a new arm, too. No one's seen him. There's nothing here on Cape Cod about what he's done yet.
John Spikerman stands in. Drew a walk in the first and flew out in the third. First pitch from Bates is swung on and missed by Spikerman. The 0-1 from Bates is swung on and missed. Quickly ahead in the count, 0-2.
Like we talked about, that was a key to today's success for the Harbor Hawk pitchers. Be ahead and work smart.
Pitch is swung on and missed, so good start from Bates. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. So he sets him down on 3 pitches.
That had some nasty late break on it. Spikerman left with absolutely no chance as the bottom just came out of that pitch.
Second straight strikeouts for Harbor Hawks pitchers, and that will bring up Kyle DeBarge. Righty on righty matchup as he taps that one foul. Bates had an above an 11 strikeouts through 9, averaged more than 11 strikeouts through 9 innings in the regular season. Nearly a 30% strikeout percentage. That one's taken outside for a ball.
Yeah, we've talked about the whip stat. That's another stat that's really coming to the fore is Ks per 9, especially with back-end guys where they're coming in high leverage situations. You may want contact, but very soft contact, and limiting the contact and striking out guys gets these outs a lot more surely for relievers. So having that high K per 9, especially for back-end guys like we may see Bates later in the season in the back end, is a pretty big stat coming up to the fore.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's a off-speed pitch away for ball 2. '61 total strikeouts in 49 innings. Swing and a miss, and he's got 2 now. And that was a nice pitch, as here you see another look at it. That just dove out of the zone at 83 miles an hour for his second straight strikeout.
Great job by Bates there, working that outer part of the plate to get him swinging and missing. Now 2 away to start your appearance really strong to already bank him.
That one's tapped up the middle. Long run for Snow, and he's not going to quite get there as that slow grounder will find its way into center field. And Charlie Condon finds himself on base for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Bates can't be too upset with that, giving up soft contact to a guy like Charlie Condon on the first pitch. He's been aggressive today, second at bat in this game where he's taken away that first pitch. So just that very soft contact, sometimes that's just what happens when you send it back up the middle. So being able to limit Condon, if he's going to get on base, that's how you want him to get on base. And now he's got to face Lavalette to end this inning.
First pitch to him is taken outside at 89 miles an hour for ball 1. Lavalette walked in the 4th. Later came around to score on the home run and struck out in the 1st. That one's grounded up the middle, and that one will get through into center field. Holding at second is Condon. And a pair of 2-out base runners here for Falmouth has given them a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, if you're Lavalette here, you're thinking that's more like the contact I want. A lot cleaner contact through the zone there. And now with 2 outs, Ethan Bates has something to worry about.
And here's Ross Heifel, who hit the home run in the 4th inning. He also walked back in the 2nd. He's been seeing the ball pretty well today.
This is why Kelly came out to have this conversation,
Yeah.
understanding how big of a spot this is, especially with Highfield, who last time up launched one directly out over left center field.
Yeah, sent one into the trees. Nearly tore one of them down because he hit it so hard. First pitch to him is taken just a little bit inside. Want to know the count? Bates delivers, and that one drops in there for a strike. Falmouth with 3 hits in this one, have a 2-0 lead. That one's taken in there for a strike.
Once ahead, 1-2 here in this count. Really good, strong job by Bates to be ahead and be able to work the count effectively.
Heifel, the catcher out of Mississippi State, takes down and in for ball 2. Dangerous hitter. You can't groove one to him, as the Harbor Hawks found out in the previous inning. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. And Bates with 3 quick strikeouts here in the top of the 5th and gets out of the inning. 2-0 Falmouth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
2-0 Falmouth from McKeon Park, as the Harbor Hawks will try and get back into this one with 9, 1-2 due up.
Yeah, big opportunity here for the Harbor Hawks at 9-1-2 due up. If you can try and get something to happen, this is your spot. We talked about Brendan Davis now going to go through a second time of this lineup, which will be interesting here. Uncharacteristic for Falmouth. Once again, a little bit of motion down in their bullpen, so
maybe a short leash in this inning. We've seen that happen a couple of times, as Zach Earhart will stand in the right fielder. Struck out back in the second. Looks to try and set the stage here to begin the inning, and he takes a strike. There you see the numbers for Earhart at Oklahoma State this year. A trio of home runs to his name. One's taken outside. 1-1. Earhart pops that one foul. It was one inning last night that was the downfall of the Harbor Hawks. They gave up 3 runs to Brewster in the 3rd. Today they've given up 2 to Falmouth in the 4th, and no runs outside of that.
There are a couple of those losses so far this year for the Harbor Hawks that you just go back to 1 inning. It's there. It's just being able to respond.
Movement in the Falmouth bullpen as Earhart takes outside. Ball 3. Laurie to follow on deck. And then Billy Amick also due up in this inning as he swings and misses, and the bat flips out of his hand. So 3-2, and somehow the ball ended up in right field. And he swung and missed, I guess, so it's a strikeout in a weird play. Either of you guys get that?
He definitely swung. I mean, I was watching where the bat was going, not the ball, so maybe it was the throw down to first that might have just gotten away, but I haven't really seen the swinging strikeout, at least. I've seen the bat a few times just on TV, but that wasn't it clearly tied him up enough that the bat went flying.
1-1 to Laurie. You're in the bottom of the 5th. Both these teams with 6 points in the standings on the year. Looking for sole possession of 3rd place in the Western Division tonight. As Laurie checks his swing, and he went around. Arturo Belamonte making that call down the first base line. With a Harbor Hawks win, as there you see that one more time. With a Harbor Hawks win, or a Falmouth win and a Wareham loss, that team will then be tied for 2nd in the Western Division as Laurie is called out on strikes. So here comes Billy Amick, who has popped out on the infield twice.
Yeah, just looking at the other side, only 1 win in 4 for Falmouth, and that was against Hyannis. They tied YD last night, the pair of teams each scoring a run in that extra 10th inning.
Yeah, and that 10th inning, that extra inning is new to the Cape this year. Of course, start with the runner at 2nd. Personally, I'm a big fan of that. I like the idea of avoiding ties, and putting runners at 2nd really changes that because you can get through that inning quickly. And hey, after 10, if you're still tied, just send it. Just send it to a tie. 2-1 the count. That one's popped foul.
And that's the beauty of the Cape Cod Baseball League. They are listening to their coaches. They're listening to their players. That was something they talked about after the season was done. They believed there was too many ties. So the Cape Cod Baseball League, in their great wisdom, made that 10th inning and did a great job of it, trying to extend it back out. I really like that move by the commissioner.
Who likes ties?
No one is a fan of ties, but adding that 10th inning, you hope to try and alleviate those ties.
Amick draws a walk. So with 2 outs, it'll be Gavin Cash coming to the plate. Cash so far today has popped out on the infield and struck out in the 1st. Harbor Hawks only with 2 hits on the day. They've stranded 5 runners. Looking to avoid stranding another here with Amick over at 1st. Cash takes outside for ball 1. Cash had some huge numbers at Texas Tech this year. And one of those plays that contributed to those numbers was a monster home run against Kansas as he takes strike 1. First team all Big 12 selection. He was unanimous in that selection. 6th Red Raider to have a 20 home run season. 2-1 the count as he tries to check his swing, but he can't. On a pitch down and away, the count evens up at 2-2. Transferred in from Texas, was a Longhorn. That one's tapped to 1st. Up with it is Condon, and he stands on the bag to end the inning. Harbor Hawks strand a runner. It's still 2-0 Falmouth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Ethan Bates back to work here for the top of the 6th for the Harbor Hawks, who trail 2-0 against Falmouth right now.
Yeah, Bates trying to continue his stellar appearance on the bump. Got into a little bit of a jam with Condon Laviolette, but once again, 2 really strong batters, no matter which way you cut it, so to allow them to single, but then they get stranded. Then all 3 of his outs back in the top of the 5th coming via the strikeout. Bates is working it on the bump. Have to imagine he's going to try and do so the same here.
Yeah, and we knew he was a strikeout guy, averaging above 11 strikeouts through 9 on the regular season. A guy that likes to pound the zone. Will be a little bit exposed to hard contact every now and then, but he certainly knows how to keep it on the edges. First pitch to Colby Shelton is taken outside for a ball. Here's the pitch, and that one's grounded to first. Up with it to his left is Lane, and he shovels that one to Bates for out number 1.
Great job by Bates there to not be afraid to get right over there. Comes off the mound, and that great communication between Lane and him, doing a great job of getting there and having that communication. Not to feel like Lane has to rush it, allows Bates to get over there in time.
He also plays a little bit of outfield, so the athleticism is there to get off the mound quickly. That one's taken outside by Nathan Humphreys, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Another guy that popped out on the infield and struck out. Been a lot of infield pop-ups in this one. Fouled away.
And that just speaks to the lack of quality of contact from both sides. It speaks to how well the pitching has done so far today. I mean, if you're just popping it up on the infield, it's going nowhere but straight up, and that's a credit to each hurler out on the mound.
That one's tapped to first as well. Up with it is Lane. He shovels it to Bates, but it goes over his head and will trickle back towards the on-deck circle. And Humphreys is aboard onto second with 1 out in the inning.
Throw from Lane just gets over the head of Bates there a little bit. That one skirts away from him all the way up to the backstop. Allows Humphreys to find himself at second, and now putting a runner in scoring position here for Falmouth to try and tack on to their lead.
Yeah, that's why you tell the players when you're raising them up to always hustle it out, because you're sending it down that first base line, and that's what forced the mistake out of Lane. It did take a weird kick, so he may have had to deal with that a bit, but the speed from Humphreys to beat Bates to the bag is really what you can credit for that mistake.
Christian Martin shows bunt as he stands in, but taps that one foul. Officially, I believe that's going to go down as an error, correct?
Error by the first baseman, correct.
Here's the pitch to Martin, and that one's in the dirt, and it'll get past Kelly, and will skip off towards the on-deck circle. So moving up on the play is Humphreys, and with only 1 out, the sacrifice fly is set up, and the infield will creep in.
Hasn't been too clean this inning, as we saw the error and now the wild pitch. So you're giving these Falmouth hitters just another chance to expand their lead.
Martin has singled in this game back in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch as he tried to check his swing, took one hand off the bat. That was the wrong hand. And the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, one of those that thought he could maybe try and get away with it, but home plate umpire Rosso said, no, you went.
Martin swings and misses. And that is a big strikeout from Ethan Bates. And that's number 4 on the day.
Yeah, that allows the infield to back up now. Takes the sac fly out of play, and just knowing that you get this out, the inning's over, and the runner on third 90 feet away is stranded.
Perfect off-speed pitch, down and away right there. Christian Martin did not stand a chance, and here's Tab Tracy. Just a really good pitch. Impossible as a hitter to do anything with that. 0-1 the count to Tracy. The pitch from Bates, and that one's tapped foul. He's quickly ahead 0-2.
Once again, a nice response here from Bates to try and have this opportunity to work out of this with a runner on third.
Oh, 2 the count. Runner at third. Here's the pitch to Tracy, and he taps that one to short. Snow gloves it. Throw to first is in time. And that is the third out of the inning. 2-0 Falmouth, as we'll send it down to the fourth member of our crew, Bria Losick.
Mason Nichols, the sophomore from Ole Miss, got the first start on the bump today of the season, and that wasn't only his first start for the Harbor Hawks, but in college in general. He usually comes out of the bullpen at Ole Miss. He has the most saves at Ole Miss this year with 4 and 23 appearances out of the bullpen. That's also the top out of the Rebels bullpen. So he's usually used to coming in save situations, but today he got the start on the bump. So we'll see if, Coach Eric Beatty decides to keep him there in the rotation or decides to take him out of the bullpen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bria. Mason Nichols, a guy to watch going forward here for the Harbor Hawks, a guy that you can use in a lot of different roles.
Yeah, and Mason Nichols is just showing his versatility. And once again, we talked about it with Cash making the move to the corner, outfield, and left, but doing an even better job of diversifying your portfolio as a pitcher to be, I can be a relief pitcher, but I can also start a game for you if you need it.
Yeah, only was allowed the 1 run to his name on the 2-run shot given up by Maloney, as there was a runner on base. That was his responsibility. But he started off a few of the innings with some walks, but worked around them all. And that was the important part. He worked back around and ended those innings strongly.
Yeah, Antoine Jean from Montreal comes in onto the bump for the Commodores.
Pitched back on the 12th and went 2 scoreless innings against Harwich at Harwich. And he picked up the win in that one.
Yeah, big spot for him here. Once again, any pitcher that comes in here later in the game is high leverage because it's only a 2-run lead for the Commodores. You don't want to try and erase. So once again, a common theme that we saw last night that we're seeing into today is that one simple inning could really hold, as Antoine Zahn will settle in, try and get his sea legs under him here at McKeon Park.
And he'll try and do it against Alex Lane to lead off the bottom half of the 6th. So Lane stands in against Swan. 2-0 our score. Harbor Hawks have some work to do in this one. They need the offense to come through, and Lane drives that one to center field. Spikerman back. He's at the warning track. He's at the wall, and it's off the bottom of the wall. Alex Lane is going to start off the bottom of the 6th with a leadoff double.
Big opportunity here for Lane. Gets great solid contact on it. Gets it to the base. Gets bat on ball contact here. Great contact on that sweet spot of the wooden bat. And is able to launch it out over the head of Spikerman. Now you put a runner in scoring position.
For Will Taylor, who doubled himself back in the second inning. And that was immediately following an Alex Lane walk. So hopefully the 1-2 punch of Lane and Taylor gets them on the board here. That one's taken in there for strike.
Yeah, now another opportunity here. You get your leadoff runner on, not only on, but into scoring position. There isn't a double play in play right now, so a hit could score Lane and have the deficit.
0-2 the count to Taylor. Here's the pitch. It is low for the ball. Taylor's going to have that right side of the infield open as the second baseman Martin is playing almost behind the second base bag, a little bit over to the right. As he lines that one down the left field line and foul at the Hyannis bullpen.
Yeah, bullpen getting out of the way, and now with school starting to get out, you're now starting to see the kids start coming back to the games here on these summer nights, and they go patrolling for those foul balls in any place possible. High bushes over there, but they're already in it.
We saw back in the fourth inning on that Heifel home run, a couple of kids walk all the way out on the path out to left center field, and they were trying to scavenge for that ball. Probably had to go pretty deep into the woods if they wanted to find that one. 1-2 the count to Taylor. Swing and a miss. He got him. Taylor goes down for the second time today, and that'll bring up Cam Smith.
Rodriguez starting to warm up for the Harbor Hawks in the bullpen, but Cam Smith has struck out his past 2 appearances, but a big spot here for him to try and break through.
All will be forgotten with those 2 strikeouts if he were to come through here. And he's ahead in the count, 1-0. You're in a 2-0 ball game. Lane gets his lead from second as he taps that one to the left side. Going to be a tough play. Charging is DeBurge. He throws. It's high at the tag. Not in time. So it's an infield single for Cam Smith. On the play, Lane moves up to third. And it's runners at the corners with only 1 out.
Yeah, now a really big spot for the Harbor Hawks here. The tying run is now on base. The run that'll cut the deficit in half is 90 feet away.
Now bringing up a big spot for Snow. Watch the double steal here, potentially.
Lane gets his lead from first, being held on. It's a bunt down the first base line, but it's going to roll foul. That one would have been a close one, and I believe that was a suicide squeeze as Lane came charging in immediately, and I believe that was before the contact was even made.
Deficit in half is 90 feet away.
Oh, and 1 the count to Eric Snow. Here's the pitch, high and away for a ball.
Yeah, we've seen the small ball all season long so far, early through the season, and it's worked for the Harbor Hawks too. So not too much of a surprise. It's always a surprise when you see it, but because of the mentality of this team, not too surprised.
Snow grounds that one to the right side. Up with it to his left is Martin. He throws to first. That will get the first Harbor Hawks run home. Lead is cut in half. It's 2-1.
Now Snow doing his job there effectively. You just got to get in and play. You're able to score Lane. Now that 2-0 becomes a 2-1, and now you're just starting to close the gap.
Yeah, it's really big to be getting that runner in now that they can finally say they're off the mark in this game. And not only that, the out was made at first. So now even though there's 2 outs, there is still a runner in scoring position. And if Kelly can send this one to the outfield, it probably scores him.
Pitch taken inside to Kelly, who so far today has been hit by a pitch and struck out. Again, they have that overshift on, playing him to pull. 1-0 is taken in there for a strike. 2-1 Commodores. Bottom of the 6th inning. Harbor Hawks have 1 run in on 3 hits. Falmouth with 3 hits as well. That one's lined into right center field, and it is down, and it rolls all the way to the wall. This will tie the game. Coming in to score is Smith. Kelly rounds first and heads to second, and the game is tied in the 6th.
Only fitting that Austin Kelly gets bat-on-ball contact here. Bang! Gets it off and over into the fencing. Does a great job to get it. And the best part about that, it's got to be sweet for Austin Kelly. He's hitting that gap to score a run to tie this game back up against the team that cut him weeks earlier.
And yeah, we finally see it. Have yourself a day. Make yourself a name. Austin Kelly, he ties this game, and now he could even represent the go-ahead run here in this inning.
Here's Zach Earhart as he takes down and away for a ball.
That's been something about the Harbor Hawks all year long. When run one comes, another one is soon to follow. There hasn't been too many outings so far in this young season where they've only put up 1 run.
When it rains, it pours.
Great song by Luke Combs there, too.
Yeah.
Luke Combs. Country guy, right?
Yes.
All right. That off-speed pitch is taken outside, and Earhart is ahead 3-0. He got the open base at first, but the top of the order is going to follow with Bradkey Laurie due up next. That one's taken in there for a strike.
Zahn doing a great job to come back into the zone, working that outer part of the plate, though, still. He's just got to get 1 to get the Commodores out of this.
3-1 to Earhart. Here's the pitch, and it is taken in there. Earhart thought it was ball 4.
Full count here. Now at that toss of the bat, a little bit of a tough
got
for Earhart. Got to protect.
Refocus here. 3-2 the count. Kelly gets his lead from second. Here's the pitch, and that one's popped up into shallow left center field. Spikerman racing in, and he will make the play on the run to end the inning. He lunged down, and it was a nice play by him. And the game remains tied. Harbor Hawks pick up 2 runs on the inning. It's 2-2 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call
Ethan Bates out for another inning of work. But headed into the 7th, the lights are lighting up at McKeon Park, and the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the Knack Cape Cod. The Knack offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit the Knack Cape Cod to order online today. The Knack Cape Cod is proud to be the Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long. And Ethan Bates back out for his 3rd inning of work. Hyannis has to be happy about getting some length out of him, guys.
They really have to be. Ethan Bates came in. You knew he had the potential. But once again, you start to really piece together your pitching, and that's sometimes the biggest question mark of a summer ball season, but does a great job of coming in, and Bates is providing and eating those innings. That's what we talk about in some of these Hawk Talk postgame shows, is being able to eat innings from the bullpen.
Spikerman stands in a new ball game. 2-2 our scores. He shows bunt, pulls back, and takes low.
And now in this situation, it's almost like a 0-0 ball game here in the top of the 7th. That's the mentality you have to take on both dugouts.
Yeah, not much better of a guy to have than Bates in here because he has allowed a few base runners, but he stayed disciplined, locked down, and he's allowed them to stay off the base paths. And finally for this offense, they have repaid their pitchers' faith in them. As we said, the home runs may come. There is going to be a run to be let up or two. But now the offense has finally worked themselves back into it. And as you said, we got a new ball game here.
Spikerman takes inside for a ball. Count is 3-0, and that has to feel really good if you're the Hyannis offense after not scoring a run yesterday. 3-0 the count. He takes in there for a strike. DeBars to follow. And then Condon due up third. 3-1 the count here to Spikerman. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. So he draws the walk. There is action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. That is Michael Rodriguez out there. And it looks like we'll have a visit to the mound here. The runner at first, I believe no movement yet.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch what they do depending on how this at-bat goes with Condon coming up. Though he's a righty, and Rodriguez is a lefty in the bullpen as we see him there. Condon is a really dangerous hitter, so you're going to need the best stuff to lock him down. Is now Bates could be tiring a little bit. This will give a little bit of time to rest his mind and to give Rodriguez a few extra pitches. So watching Condon is going to be really what you're going to have to do here. If you're manager Eric Beatty, just see if Rodriguez is ready to face that task. What a task that would be for his first appearance.
Looks like they're stalling a little bit. They're still out there talking, and finally it will be broken up. Mound visit used for the Harbor Hawks. And with a runner at first and still nobody out in the 7th, it'll be Kyle DeBars. So far today, he is doubled in the 3rd, popped out on the infield in the 1st, and then struck out in the 5th. Throw over to first. Diving back safely is Spikerman. Might be in motion here, guys. What do you think?
I'll be interested. I think he might hold a little steady here.
Pitch is popped up on the infield. Laurie races in, calls everybody off, drifts to his left, and makes the play for out number 1.
That is now the 9th pop-up. I went back and counted when you were talking about it, Mickey. That is now the 9th pop-up between both teams on the infield today.
Thank you.
So looks like they will leave Bates in here as the righty for the righty-righty matchup to face Condon. This is a big at-bat in this game here.
Throw over to first again, and the dive back. Spikerman looked like he got stuck in the dirt trying to dive back, but he got back safely, apparently. The tag was applied by Lane. Another throw over, and this time a clean slide. First pitch of the at-bat is taken high.
And we talked about, and what Michael was talking about, they're going to let Bates here and face Condon in this big spot.
Condon singled back in the 5th. Another throw over. He lined out to Snow in the 1st and then grounded out to Snow in the 3rd.
It would be an aggressive play here, but maybe with Condon being the prolific hitter he is, could see maybe a hit and run on here.
Here's the pitch, and it's inside off the glove of Kelly, and that'll allow Spikerman to move up to 2nd.
Yeah, it would have been aggressive to send him on that hit and run in a tie game in this situation, but yeah, that pitch bouncing out of Kelly's glove takes care of that problem.
So now Falmouth has the go-ahead run at 2nd with 1 out. Condon swings and grounds that one foul towards the Hyannis bullpen. Still 1-2. Another game that feels like it's been going by at a pretty good pace after last night only lasted 2 hours and 15 minutes. That one drops in there for a strike. Spikerman with his leadoff of second and a swing and a miss by Condon for the second out of the inning. And now confusion. He must have fouled that off. Nope. He's going to go walk towards the dugout. And he was talking to the home plate umpire in a bit of confusion, and now he'll get a description on what's happening. But as this is happening, Coach Eric Beatty is headed out to the mound to make a pitching change. We'll tell you all about the next Hyannis pitcher on the other side. It's 2-2 here in the top of the 7th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative Tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Michael Rodriguez, the new pitcher for Hyannis. There you see his numbers. Michael, what do you got?
I've got, as we keep saying, we talk about this whip, a 0.868 whip this season to go with a 1.60 ERA through 39 and a third appearances. He's normally a relief pitcher. Did go 5 innings in relief in 1 appearance. This is a staggering number, guys. We're talking about that K to walk ratio. 67 strikeouts to only 8 walks. So this guy pounds the zone. He is a D2 guy as well. And 67 to 8 at any level is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no way around it. When you have that strong of a K to walk ratio, that's what you want to see as a scout, as a coach, and as a defender behind him.
So they'll bring in the lefty Rodriguez to face the lefty Lavalette, who so far today has drawn a walk, struck out in the first, and he singled back in the 5th. Excuse me, the righty Lavalette. Oh, he's going back to the other side. So 2-2 our score with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Excuse me. I've lost the ability to speak English right now.
Ah, you've been doing
It's been
good
one
this
of
game.
those nights.
No, you're doing good.
The designated hitter, Jace Lavalette, stands in. Lefty on lefty. First pitch to him. Down and away for a ball. Michael Rodriguez, a guy that features fastball, slider, and a changeup. Throws that slider more than anything else. And a timeout taken, and it looks like, is that a...
It's going to be a balk. They're going to move him.
Yep. So in a 1-0 count with 2 outs, the balk is committed. Second balk of the season for Hyannis. And here we go. Single gets him home. Taken outside for a ball. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. So Spikerman at third now. Defense straight up, both infield and outfield. Here's the 2-0, taken outside.
Rodriguez just missing the spots in the zone. Now on a 3-0, someone have to try and go in and find the black.
Ross Heifel to follow. Here's the 3-0, and that's taken in there for a strike. Heifel, and not a guy that you want to see up right now with runners on base. He homered back in the fourth to drive in both Falmouth runs. Falmouth with a chance to take the lead here. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's taken outside for ball 4. And Falmouth has runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, now with Heifel as the righty stepping in, you knew that that was the situation that they brought Rodriguez in for, was to get that out on Lavalette. So we've seen a walk, a rare walk at that from Rodriguez, and now he's just got to worry about the batter at hand.
First pitch is a check swing. It was high and away and no swing. That one was about as close as you can get. Belamonte, the first base umpire, making that call. 1-0 the count. Lavalette at first, Spikerman at third. Heifel takes strike 1.
Big spot here for Heifel to try and protect on the plate, and if you're Rodriguez, just find the black. That's going to be the key right now.
Falmouth has yet to go down 1-2-3 in an inning as he takes that one, and it went, I believe, behind him. And a good job by Kelly to spear that, allowing Spikerman to stay at third, and there you see it again.
Kelly doing a great job to get his glove back there behind Heifel.
Showing off the reach. 2-1 the count. That one's popped up foul down the first base line. Count evens at 2-2.
And needless to say, but I'll say it anyway, it's a huge pitch, as there's plenty of deuces wild on this count, but Rodriguez now really has to bear down and get this final strike.
Here's the pitch to Heifel, and he swings and misses, strike 3. Michael Rodriguez works his way out of the jam, and the game remains tied. 2-2. It's stretch time here from McKeon Park on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito. That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own. You turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 7th inning stretch nearly done, and now it's time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Out-of-town scoreboard here in the bottom of the 9th. Harwich leading Cotuit, looking for their second loss of the summer. Already got a final through 10 innings. Wareham and Brewster knotted up at 4. They get 1 point apiece. In the top of the 7th, we're here. In the bottom of the 5th, YD, another hot team on the Cape, leading the Firebirds 2-1. And then in the bottom of the 3rd, Bourne looking for their second win of the summer, pacing the Chatham Anglers 4-1 in a big one out there. That was a 7 o'clock start.
Nothing more synonymous with a ballpark than the chicken dance and McKeon Park. It'll be Brad Keylori to lead off the inning for Hyannis, looking to take the lead here. Let's avoid a tie tonight, guys. Come on.
And this is a good chance to get yourself back on the lead side of things. With the top of the order coming up, your big boppers are up. Haven't seen Billy Amick get that hit yet. He's had a hit, I believe, in every game since he's been to the Cape. So his streak is in jeopardy, and if there was any time to come through and get that first hit of the night, it would be now. He awaits on deck.
Taken high and away for ball 2. 2-1 the count. So far, Laurie 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts as he fouls that one back, but he did walk in the 3rd.
Yeah, good to see him back on base again. This is a guy you want to see more out of from the top of the line, from the top spot. Coming into this game, 2 for 16 since June 15th.
Got off to a red-hot start to begin the year as he taps that one down the third base line, and that will just bounce foul. It took a weird bounce on the lip of the grass over there. As this infield can be a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah, we've seen a few weird bounces tonight over at third. There was one that took a hop directly over the third baseman, Shelton, and then on the E3 where Lane missed the flip, there was a weird bounce that took it to the opposite side of his glove, so perhaps that crossed him up a little bit. So yeah, been a bit of an unpredictable infield, just as you say, man.
2-2 the count to Laurie as he takes outside, and the count runs full. Laurie, Amick, and Cash due up. Here's the 3-2, and it's fouled off. Down the first base line. Laurie getting on here would be big. Payoff pitch once again. That was a curveball fouled back. Off-speed pitch fouled back.
And some nice life out of the Harbor Hawks dugout on that big fouled off pitch from Laurie.
Trying to inject some energy into this team. Brought home 2 runs their last time up, and he takes strike 3 call. So a backwards K for Laurie, and that'll bring up Billy Amick.
Yeah, 0 for 2 with the walk today is Amick, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a guy who you really want to see him get the bat on the ball. He's been doing it so well since his first day on the Cape against Brewster. He came in hot, and he's been staying scorching hot, but still without a hit today. It would be a timely one if he could find it.
Numbers with Clemson, 63 runs batted in this year. That's the stat that sticks out. He takes an off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Count even at 1-1. Infield straight up. Outfield looks like they're shaded a couple of steps back. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Big swing from Amick there. I wonder what he was trying to do with that pitch.
Yeah, what he did 20-plus times with Clemson. That's why those outfielders are shaded so far back.
Here's the pitch. Down and away for ball 2. Spikerman, the center fielder, is shaded a couple of steps to the right, guarding against that right center field gap.
But now you're opening a huge opportunity in left center field between Tracy and Spikeman if you can get it over there.
Pitch is taken in there for strike 3, second straight strikeout.
Second straight strikeout looking too.
And that'll bring up Gavin Cash. 0 for 3 day on his ledger. He's put a couple of balls into play, though. There you see the fastball again, that curveball. And it's going to be Mike Sirota in to pinch hit here for the Harbor Hawks. Recently arrived. Here's the pitch, and it's high for a ball.
Yeah, returner that comes back here for the Harbor Hawks for another season on the Cape and looking to bring some of that experience with him here in this big at-bat.
The 1-0 is taken high for a ball. Two 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's squibbed foul. Sirota, a guy with, as we mentioned, experience on the Cape, experience with a wood bat. And with 2 outs and the base is empty, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Pitch is taken outside for a ball, so 3-1. I would not be surprised if you see Sirota come absolutely unglued.
Yeah, Sirota last summer batted .339. Walks out of strength there, but through his 18 games, had 21 hits and 2 homers on the summer.
He has been an MLB draft pick in 2021 to the Los Angeles Dodger, number 492. That one drops in there for strike 3, and the side is retired. In the bottom of the 7th, we head to the 8th in a tie game on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Kino. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Back at McKeon Park for the top of the 8th inning, and back to work is Michael Rodriguez. But first, Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Help save lives. Help save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring, commitment, and community. 2-2 game. Harbor Hawks need some runs. Falmouth needs some runs to try and break this tie. Here into the top of the 8th inning, guys. What's going to be the key for these offenses to finally break through?
I think the big one here is just to get a hit. Once you get a hit, it becomes contagious. It's something that coaches talk about continuously, is once you get that one, then the second one comes. So once you can break through and get that first hit, that's going to be a key to both these offenses to try and unknot this tie.
And going off of that, it's going to be choosing the correct pitches. I mean, the pitching has been absolutely stellar today, and finding the correct pitches has been very hard to come by. I mean, the corners have been pounded, and even a little bit out of the zone with a bit of pitch disguise has worked really well today. So if there is a mistake, you're just going to have to spot it as a hitter and just hope you do find it.
Colby Shelton stands in. 0 for 3 day so far for him. Facing Rodriguez. 1-1 the count. Skips in there for a ball. 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error committed by Falmouth. Excuse me, 2 runs on 5 hits for Falmouth. Here's the pitch. That drops in there for a strike. 2 runs on 5 hits as well for the Harbor Hawks, although they have committed 3 errors. 2-2 the count to Shelton out of the University of Alabama. Here's the pitch, and he grounds that one to second. Laurie up with it, throw to first in time for out number 1.
Pitch that ran inside on Shelton there, gets him to come around on it, and nubs it off over to Laurie, and Laurie doing a great job not rushing it.
Yeah. Sometimes you see those infielders charge those, make it a little bit more complicated on themselves. Nathan Humphrey stands in, the right fielder out of Dallas Baptist. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. Music started playing over the loudspeaker. Nobody stopped play, though, so 1-0. He reached on an error his last time up as he takes a strike. Outside of that, he struck out and popped out on the infield. Because what else would somebody do in this game other than pop out on the infield? Feels like everybody has a couple of those. That one's chopped off the plate. Smith waits for the high hop, fires off across the infield, showing off his strong arm for the second out of the inning. So a bit of a weird play there. That one just pummeled the plate.
We talked about you don't want to charge him, but that's a play that you have to come to charge in on because it's going to get knotted up in that grass. Smith doing a great job to charge in on it, take the hop, play it effectively, and fire over. Once again, not rushing mechanics.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really mechanically sound play because you let that ball take that second bounce, it dies in that grass, and with the speed of Humphreys busting it down that first base line, he's going to beat that out every day. So good work from Cam Smith to wait for that bounce.
Christian Martin stands in and takes a strike. Outside for a ball. Count evens up at 1-1. Martin 1 for 3 on the game. A strikeout, a flyout, and a single back in the fourth. Rodriguez deals, and it's down and away, but a little bit of feedback over the loudspeakers, and that one won't count. Still 1-1.
Called a no pitch due to the speaker feedback.
Martin sees a 1-1, and it's taken high and away for a ball. Pretty good crowd here at McKeon Park. You mentioned the kids showing up a little more as school gets out earlier in the broadcast. Weather hopefully will get a little warmer out here on the Cape.
Yeah, it's been seasonably cold up here, and wearing pants, once that sun goes down, temp drops. 61 degrees right now. Just looking to try and get some more beach weather up here on Cape Cod.
3-1 the count to Martin as he takes a strike, and the count will run full.
Yeah, that slider fastball combo is just so deadly from Rodriguez, dunking it in at that 82 and then touching over 90, sitting around 92 with that fastball.
3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him with a high off speed pitch, and 1-2-3 go the Commodores. We head to the bottom half of the eighth. It's still 2-2 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
New pitcher in for Falmouth as Hyannis looks to break this 2-2 tie that we've been deadlocked in since the sixth inning, guys.
Yeah, Luke Garofalo from Middlefield, Connecticut, the Central Connecticut State Blue Devil. Comes in, earned NEC first team status, posted a 2.12 ERA, striking out 40 batters in 34 innings pitched. Now this is the good one. The whip, 0.824 for Garofalo. Big spot here for Falmouth to try and hold them. And if you're the Harbor Hawks, got to try and get some hits here and break this tie.
Yeah, so headed in the bottom of the 8th, it will be Alex Lane, Will Taylor, and Cam Smith. And Lane has been a guy that has been really, really good offensively for Hyannis so far. He doubled and later came around to score the first run of the game for Hyannis in the 6th, and then walked and eventually reached 3rd back in the 2nd, but was stranded there. First pitch to him is taken in there for a strike. That double back in the 6th looked like it was headed out for a couple of moments. 0-1 is taken low for a ball.
Yeah, there was a big 6th inning for the Harbor Hawks, collecting 3 hits. That's as many hits. They collected 8 hits in the previous 14 innings. They collected 3 hits coming over from last night in last night's game, and then they only collected 2 up until that 6th. So a big breakout inning, 5 runs in 14 innings.
Alex Lane continues his great night at the plate, and he lines a single to left, and the Harbor Hawks are in business.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all these names. You've got the Gavin Cashes and you got the Billy Amics, but Alex Lane keeps playing his way in here. He's got himself back on with his 2nd hit of the night.
And it looks like Trey Lipsy will run for Alex Lane. So he'll jog out to first base, get a little more speed on the bases.
That just goes to show you the commitment to this run that's standing on first from the Harbor Hawks dugout, that they want to pull Lane here, a really strong defensive first baseman to bring in Lipsy here to run.
And in stands Will Taylor, who shows bunt, and he'll bunt that one foul.
Do you think we could do a side-by-side cam of no, we tried that.
Trey Lipsy, the new runner from Ohio State, standing at 6'2". The pitch, and that one's bunted down the first base line, and it is had trouble with by the first baseman, and it's going to be an infield bunt single. Condon could not pick it up cleanly, and Taylor ran around him down the first base line.
Watch Taylor here. He's going to come in flying. Sees it, has to get out of the way, but diving out, Superman style. And another big part, he keeps his body into foul territory in a big spot there. You can't go fair, or that could have been an out.
Yeah, that's where you see that football body contorting a little bit. He's a receiver. He's a center fielder, too. Really showed off that athleticism there. And now another chance for the Harbor Hawks.
That one's popped up by Cam Smith. Racing in is Spikenman, but it's going to be Martin on the infield to put it away for the first out of the inning. So quick action coming here in the bottom half of the 8th. Runners at first and second with 1 out, and it's going to be Eric Snow coming to the plate. Here's the pitch, down and away. Austin Kelly to follow.
3, 2, 1, off.
Runner goes, and that one's fouled off. Aggressive send as Lipsy took off for 3rd. And it didn't look like Taylor knew that that was on, as he took a very late break towards 2nd. But Snow fouls it back, and it's 0-2 to him. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And good job working through this here as the first 2 hitters got on for Hyannis, and now it's going to be Austin Kelly, who doubled in his last at-bat in the 6th. He drove in a run with that. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd and struck out in the 3rd.
Exactly the guy you want up here, as he tied the game back in the 6th. He's up again with a chance to give him the lead.
First pitch is taken inside for a ball. Kelly looking for another clutch hit here, righty on lefty. Again, the infield and an overshift against him as he takes a strike.
Now you have a gap here between Tracy and Spikeman because Spikeman isn't necessarily shading over. So that's a huge gap in left center field.
Grounded to the right side, and up with it is Martin, and he throws to first in time. The Harbor Hawks had runners at first and second with nobody out, but aren't able to scratch across a run. We head to the ninth. We're still tied at 2 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 2-2 our score headed into the ninth, and for Falmouth it's going to be 9-1-2 against Michael Rodriguez, going back out for another inning of work.
And Rodriguez looking to try and stay really strong here today in this spot for Hyannis, as Mitch Ferris will come in to play first base. The pitcher can do it all. Wow. Did play both sides of the ball for Wingate, so big opportunity to get your first time in the field here of the summer. We talked about Lipsy not necessarily being a strong first baseman, but since he is a majority of an outfielder, and now Ferris comes in a big spot.
All right.
Would have been interesting. I mean, I was talking earlier about how many first basemen they have. I would have been expecting would have been Amick at this point, but he is only designated hitting. So, and at this point, Cash is also out of the game, so they have to resort to Ferris.
Tab Tracy will lead it off for the Commodores in a 2-2 tie. First pitch, he shows bunt, and he pulls back and takes this pitch for a ball. Michael Rodriguez back in. He's gone an inning and a third so far, striking out 2. After walking his first hitter, he's retired 4 in a row. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt, tries to get it down, and he tips that one into the glove of Austin Kelly. Oh, 0-2 the count. Excuse me. 1-2. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. Is it 2-2? I've lost track.
I believe 2-2 off of the indication shown by the umpire.
This is showing 2-1. Anyway, Rodriguez deals. That one's bunted foul. So now it's 2-2. Bit of confusion there. Tracy trying to get a bunt down. Ferris over at first. The usual pitcher is playing back. Smith, the third baseman, is playing in. Here's the pitch, and it is in there for a called strike 3. Backwards K put up by Rodriguez, his third strikeout of his outing.
Big strikeout there to be ahead in your count for Rodriguez, doing a great job there, working the outer part of the plate to get the first one.
So that'll bring up the top of the order. I've heard a lot of sirens out here today, as that one's going to hit. Nope, it was just inside. A lot of activity out on Old Colony Road, I think. It's the fourth or fifth one we've heard. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and it drops in there for a strike. Spikerman so far on the day is 0 for 2, but he has drawn 2 walks, showing good plate discipline. 1-1 is taken inside. That first one looked like it hit him from our vantage point, but obviously they have much better vantage point down there with Timothy Rosso umpiring his first Hyannis game of the summer. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's just inside. Infield straight up, outfield straight up as well. And a 3-1 count. Spikerman looking for his third walk of the game, and he takes in there for a strike. Good pitch from Rodriguez right at the knees. The 3-2. Chopped down the first base line, and a nice pick by Ferris over there at first. Ferris, the usual pitcher, had that one come up on him, and it looked like he almost barehanded it.
Great play by Mitch Ferris, the Bulldog over there. Does a great job of being able to get there, playing it fair. It's one of those balls that could have dribbled foul, but stays fair, does a great job of following it the entire way.
Yeah, saw a lot of English on that ball as it kicked right behind first base. It could be one that's very tough to handle, but Mitch Ferris, like a seasoned pro he is, fields it nicely and puts it away for the second out.
First pitch to Kyle DeBarge is in there for a strike. 2 for 4 on the day with a double back in the third inning. He was stranded at third, though, after moving up. And there's a strike on the inner third of the plate. And Michael Rodriguez is in a bit of a rhythm right now.
Once you're able to find that rhythm.
Here's the 0-2 in the dirt. Good waste pitch.
Trying to see if he could get him to chase there. DeBarge holding still in the box. Fans trying to make an impact here at McKeon Park on a Monday night.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Harbor Hawks with a chance to walk it off, as there you see the final out of the inning one more time. We're tied at 2 here at McKeon Park as we head to the bottom of the ninth on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Luke Garofalo back out there for the bottom of the ninth as YMCA rings out over McKeon Park, trying to get their team bit of a rally here in the bottom of the ninth in a 2-2 tie with Falmouth. Hyannis will bring up Zach Earhart, Brad Keylori, and Billy Amick to the plate. Here trying to avoid the extra inning and walk off Falmouth. That's one thing about the 10th inning rule that was added this year. I think that saying the extra inning is a lot cooler than saying we're going to extra innings.
Yeah, it makes it sound a lot more treacherous. It says a little bit of an element of danger to it. This is all you've got.
Like a final boss fight.
Yeah.
1-0 the count, and that one's lined to short. Up with it is DeBrange, and he fires on to first in time for the first out, and Earhart is retired for the 4th time tonight. And here's Brad Keylori. He drew a walk back in the 3rd. One swing of the bat can end it here tonight. Laurie sees a first pitch strike on the off speed. Harbor Hawks scored both of their runs in the 6th as that one's tipped back into the catcher for strike 2.
And conversely,
yeah,
Falmouth scored all their 2 runs back in the 4th.
Pitching has taken center stage here tonight. 0-2 to Laurie. Here's the pitch. High for a ball.
Yeah, while pitching has taken center stage tonight, it's a lot better and a lot more promising to see the Hawks being able to take advantage of their runners on when they can get them. They've been only 4 hits tonight, but there have been walks and hit by pitches, so they have been manufactured today.
1-2 the count, and he swings and misses for strike 3. Second strikeout for Garofalo, and here comes Billy Amick.
And as I mentioned earlier, he's yet to have a hit today, and it almost seems like you could say that the stage is setting for Billy Amick, what he could do with one swing of the bat and end this game with 2 outs.
First pitch to Amick is taken low for a ball. Here's the pitch. Amick takes low for a ball. One and 0 the count. Amick swings and misses.
Understanding here with 2 away here, Amick already has 2 home runs here at McKeon Park.
The pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. 2-2 the count. After getting ahead 2-0, Garofalo has fooled Amick twice. 2 outs in the inning, 2-2 our score as he just got a piece of that one and taps it foul.
Way to extend his at-bat there, reaching out over the plate, understanding here in this big spot, if it is close, you have to protect the plate.
Amick, the designated hitter tonight, walked in the 5th. Outside of that, 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive to left field, and that is going to get down a fair ball. Tracy's going to pick it up down the line. Amick is going to hustle into second with a 2-out double. He represents the winning run for Hyannis.
Great piece of hitting. Billy Amick doing what he does best of getting it down. Makes great bat-on-ball contact, pushing it down the left field line, and sneaks it in by Tracy.
And we've seen it all season long so far is manufacturing. The manufacturing there came on the previous pitch. He fouled that pitch off by centimeters to keep himself alive. He manufactured himself staying later into that at-bat, and he represents the winning run. And what an audition to this season it would be for Mike Sirota if he could end it here.
First pitch to Sirota, a little bit of an excuse me swing. And there's strike 1. Sirota, the returner from last year. One of the few holdovers here on the Hyannis team. pitch. Down for a ball. Amick getting his lead from second. Amick with good speed. Can score. Outfield still at normal depth. You'd think they might pull him in just a little bit to try and have a chance at getting Amick at home. And there's a line drive down the left field line. That's a base hit. Amick's going to come around and score the winning run. And the Harbor Hawks have walked it off.
This is a great piece of hitting by Mike Sirota. Once again, comes in, first game, wasn't in the lineup today, comes in as a pinch hitter, and Mr. Harbor Hawk himself comes in and steps up big in a big situation here, getting the win and getting the walk-off.
I mean, yeah, that's how you introduce yourself to the Harbor Hawks this season for Mike Sirota. He comes up, and he's a pinch hitter in this situation for that reason. And great work by Amick, as mentioned before, to keep his at-bat going. And though there weren't many hits tonight, they made the most of those base runners on the field tonight. And a really, really awesome and a huge win for the Harbor Hawks, getting themselves back into the win column.
I think we know who Bree is going to interview, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. It was a 2-out rally for the Harbor Hawks. They did all of that with 2 outs. The double from Amick, and then Sirota lines one down the left field line nearly in the same spot as the Amick double.
And we talk about it in the pregame show. They were going to find their bats. These new guys that were coming in, they had to get readjusted. And Mike Sirota doing a great job sitting back, waiting for it. He had the protect me swing early and finds it off, doing a great job to find grass. We talked about that opening, the left field opening on the foul line. Tracy had shaded a little bit right, leaving that opening. It had burned them once, and it burns them again. A great piece of hitting by Sirota.
Yeah, and that's your experience right there. Mike Sirota coming up in a huge spot. He's been in quite a few of them, as he was last year on the Cape. And boy, what a way to introduce yourself this season.
Walk-offs are fun.
Oh,
we should
yeah.
do this again sometime.
Maybe we can do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, perhaps we will tomorrow. We'll be back here at McKeon tomorrow, but for tonight, 3-2 victory for the Harbor Hawks. For Jacob Irons, for Michael Kirsting, my name is Mickey Doolittle and our entire broadcasting crew. Once again, Harbor Hawks walk it off thanks to Mike Sirota. 3-2 the final, and we'll see you tomorrow night from McKeon Park on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records. My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history.
My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family like my family. Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.